The story kicks off at a massive building where tension hangs heavy in the air. From afar, a cold voice rang out full of threat. "Kid, do you think you're living on borrowed time, so you dare talk to me like that?" Zhang Bin, the guy pointing his finger in the young man's face with a hateful glare, is Zhang Bin, a notorious thug at school. He calls himself the leader of the core insect clan, commanding a 5,000-strong army of dwarfs, a force that's no joke. Facing him is the young man Han Yu with a panicked look, his hand on his chest like he's trying to steady his racing heart. He's a worthless core insect clan member, a royal worm with no real divine power to speak of. I get what I want. If you don't hand over your divine power, do you believe I'll destroy your core divine power? Why would Han Yu, the underdog, dare to stand up to a bully like Zhang Bin? To understand why the story has to go back to the day before. Yeah, Han Yu went through a mind-blowing event. He crossed over, or more precisely, transmigrated to the divine realm, a place where anyone can become a god. But fate's a twisty thing. The owner of this body is a total loser, a pathetic bug as people mock. When he awakened his divine realm at 18, Han Yu only got a core insect clan royal worm seen as weak and worthless. Memories of this body started flooding into Han Yu's mind. He recalled his grandfather lying in bed, voice weak but hopeful. "Son, your parents went missing in the chaotic sea of the Imperial Academy. They're definitely still alive. If you get the chance in the future, you have to find them." That advice weighed heavy on him. Then a stunning girl with a perfect figure and curves showed up, turning to look at Han Yu with a meaningful glance. She said in a cocky tone like she was doing him a favor, "If you agree to be my slave and supply enough royal worms every day as food for my thunder beast, I can protect you until you graduate high school. Think it over." But that's not all. Zhang Bin and his goons showed up, putting their hands on Han Yu's shoulder, acting all bossy. "Han Yu, bring 100 points of divine power to me on Monday for school. If you don't, I'll lead my dwarf army into your divine power, wipe out your core insect clan, destroy your core, and ruin your future for good." After taking in those chaotic memories, Han Yu felt his head spinning. This situation was like a hellish gamble with him backed into a corner. With a royal worm clan, how could he even dream of getting into the prestigious Imperial Academy, let alone fulfill his grandfather's wish and find his parents? But Han Yu wouldn't accept his fate. He slowly approached a high-tech machine, eyes determined. Bending over for someone to chop isn't my style. In that moment, as Han Yu sat in the machine and put on the virtual reality glasses, "Well, I'm here now. If I don't fight back, it'd be a total waste of this transmigration opportunity." A moment later, numbers flashed around him along with the text, "Connecting to the divine realm." When the progress hit 100%, the system announced successful login. In a flash, Han Yu opened his eyes and found himself in the divine realm. Before him was a majestic sight. Towering mountains, lush green grass, stretching out and shimmering lights on the ground like a fairy garden from a painting. Han Yu stood there stunned by the beauty. His heart stirred. After composing himself, he said, "This is my core insect clan, a bunch of royal worms chilling on the grass." Han Yu opened his system panel. On the screen, it showed name Han Yu. Divine creature, rank divine talent, heaven's favorite. Divine abilities. Accelerated growth. Life sacrifice. Faith power 200,000. Core rank level 1. Core insect clan royal worm. Seeing heaven's favorite and life sacrifice, Han Yu couldn't help but wonder. He tapped the system, trying to recall this body's memories. These two lines weren't in my previous life's memories. Is this my golden finger? The system immediately explained, heaven's favorite, a lucky one chosen by the heavens, gaining a unique attribute ability with each level up. Life sacrifice. Sacrifice the life of creatures to gain equivalent valuable items. Items are randomly generated during sacrifice, usable once per day. Hearing that, Han Yu stroked his chin thoughtfully. Heaven's favorite, that's definitely my golden finger from transmigrating here. And life sacrifice is the unique ability I got in the divine creature stage. With these game changers, if I work hard, I can fulfill my grandfather's wish. But right after he pondered, first I have to deal with that school bully. But with my royal worms... Before he could finish, Han Yu suddenly looked at the system panel, his eyes lighting up in surprise. A bold idea flashed in his mind. After thinking it over, he burst out laughing. I get it now. He quickly reopened the system panel, eyes burning with determination. All right, let's go all in. Win and I flip the table and take control. Lose and I'm stuck as a loser forever. The scene shifts to the next morning at a sprawling school buzzing with the energy of a new school day. A girl with striking pink hair in a school uniform that turns heads especially from the guys in class walks over to Han Yu's seat. She said in a sassy tone, "Han Yu, have you thought it over? Be my slave, Chin Song." Chin Song, with one hand on her hip, said seriously, "I'll make sure no one bullies you before you graduate high school." Faced with that tempting but controlling offer, Han Yu didn't hesitate and replied firmly, "I refuse." Chin Song's pretty face darkened instantly and she slammed the table yelling, "What? Do you even know what you're saying? Without my protection, those guys would squeeze you dry." But facing Chin Song's rage, Han Yu stayed surprisingly calm. He looked her straight in the eye, his voice steady but firm. "Maybe things are as bad as you say, but I still choose to refuse. Han Yu, I may not have power, but I have my own dignity. Your kind offer to protect me, I appreciate it. Your kind offer to protect me, I appreciate it. If there's nothing else, please go back to your seat." Chin Song was taken aback by his resolve, her beautiful face showing surprise. Without another word, she turned and walked away, but not before glancing back with a loaded comment, "Han Yu, you'll regret this." Han Yu had just sighed in relief, feeling like a weight was off his shoulders, when not even 3 seconds later, Zhang Bin and his 2 goons appeared closing in on him aggressively. Zhang Bin, with his cold eyes, threatened, "Han Yu, I told you to prepare 100 points of divine power. Did you bring it? Hand it over. Don't make us get rough. Hand it over or we'll smash your core divine power and leave you with no way back." But when Zhang Bin's hand landed on his shoulder, Han Yu couldn't hide his annoyance. He gritted his teeth, eyes sharp. "Don't touch me." Zhang Bin didn't flinch. He smirked slyly, his voice icy. "Dare to talk to me like that? If you don't hand over the divine power, do you believe I'll destroy your divine realm core?" But in the face of those powerful threats, Han Yu showed no fear. Instead, he locked eyes with Zhang Bin, his gaze cold. "Then try it." Han Yu's tough stance left Zhang Bin momentarily stunned. He thought to himself, "What's with this kid today? He's acting totally different. Did he get some new backup?" He glanced at Chin Song, but quickly realized she wasn't behind Han Yu. Meanwhile, Zhang Bin's goons were hyped up chanting, "Let's fight. Fight. We've never seen what happens when a royal worm core gets smashed." What a joke compared to the average strength in our class. "Hurry up and take him out. Make him drop out." Zhang Bin pulled out a card, his smile turning more sinister than ever. "Han Yu, if you're tired of living, don't blame me for not giving you a chance." Right away, energy burst from the card, spreading wildly. "Dealing with trash like you, even using divine PowerPoints, is me going easy." Han Yu explained briefly. The invasion card can lock onto a target and create a spatial portal, sending the user into the opponent's divine realm for a direct attack. Han Yu witnessed the scene and was stunned, but in an instant he was swept into the surging energy, his body reeling and mind in chaos. A moment later, Han Yu appeared in the divine realm, kneeling amid towering mountains. In front of him, a massive gate emerged, leaving Han Yu shocked. As the gate opened, thousands of dark figures with glowing red eyes and lightning strikes hit the ground. Stocky dwarfs with fierce expressions stepped out of the shadows. At the same time, a huge illusion of Zhang Bin appeared, exuding overwhelming presence. His voice echoed. "By the name of the dwarf god, I command you. My dwarf army, destroy those weak royal worms and shatter this divine realm's core." The dwarfs roared in response, full of power. Ready to charge into battle. Outside, the students watching the confrontation on the big screen were impressed. One said Zhang Bin's dwarf army has grown by at least 1,000 dwarfs. This puts him in the top 50 strongest for sure. Another argued top 50. What are you talking about? Don't you see each dwarf is armed? This strength is at least top 30. Meanwhile, Chin Song crosses his arms, his eyes intently watching the battle with a slight smirk full of interest. The screen cuts to Han Yu, the main character who doesn't hesitate, and waves his hand to order, "Self-exploding locusts attack." The bright red locusts start flying swiftly, charging straight into the group of dwarves. A student witnessing this can't hide his shock. "Look at that. What are those red flying insects?" A moment later, he realized, his voice trembling. "Exploding locusts, elite creatures? Isn't Han Yu's core clan just regular locusts? How did he get elite creatures like exploding locusts, and in such huge numbers?" But another guy nearby scoffed. "So what if they're elite? Locusts turning elite still can't handle the dwarfs' fighting power. Trash is trash, more of them won't help." However, when the exploding locusts collided with the dwarf army, a massive explosion erupted like bombs that once devastated the earth. Han Yu stood watching the battle, recalling the moment from the day before when he activated his skill, creating a magical circle. There he stood like a powerful god, hands clasped, eyes steady as he declared, "All right, let's go all in. Keep 10 million for breeding sacrifice, the remaining 249 billion. As soon as he finished, a massive energy vortex engulfed the locusts, growing larger. The system showed 3 options. Option 1, 10,000 elite warrior recruits. Option 2, an endless life spring for nurturing life and improving the surroundings. Option 3, the Water Heart, which has a chance to produce a core clan with explosive power when placed in the Divine Realm Center. Han Yu rested his chin on his hand, deep in thought. Option 1 is 10,000 warrior recruits. It could handle the immediate danger, but it's a one-time use. Option 2 is the Life Spring, a long-term investment, but won't help with tomorrow's crisis. After weighing it, he picked Option 3, investing in the core clan for lasting effects. This is the only way. The system instantly gave Han Yu a crystal radiating powerful energy. Without hesitation, he crushed the crystal, and the shards sparkled, spreading surging energy everywhere. A moment later, his locusts transformed the system, displaying exploding locust clan level 6 elite creatures, fanatical faith followers traits. Locusts have no intelligence and obey the gods' every command. Han Yu rushed forward, grabbed an exploding locust and shouted, "Explode!" When the locust hit the rock in front, a massive explosion went off. Han Yu grinned triumphantly. This power absolutely can't kill a regular dwarf, but with numbers it just might. So let's do a few more. Back to the battle, the dwarfs were buried in the thick smoke from the exploding locusts. A student observing on the screen wondered, "How's the battle going?" As the smoke cleared, the sight left everyone stunned. Countless dwarfs lay scattered dead, and the dwarf leader was badly wounded, fading fast. Han Yu led thousands of exploding locusts forward with a bold stride, fearless. But before he could act, Han Yu made a magic circle with his hand and commanded, "Too late to leave now." All eyes turned to the Divine Realm Gate, where Han Yu's exploding locust army suddenly shifted, swarming into Zhang Bin's Divine Realm at terrifying speed. In a blink, earth-shattering explosions rang out, creating unprecedented chaos. Zhang Bin watched his dwarf army get hammered and panicked, yelling, "Order your clan out of my Divine Realm now!" But every time an exploding locust hit a dwarf, it blew up with massive force, making the enemies scream in pain. Seeing things go south, Zhang Bin freaked out, voice shaking. "I give up. Call off your locusts, let my clan return." But Han Yu just smirked, his smile cold and determined. "Weren't you trying to smash my Divine Realm core? If so, attacking your core is only fair." Zhang Bin was furious, face red, as he shouted, "If you really do that, my parents won't let you off. My dad's a demigod, and my mom's about to become one. You're no match for them." Before he could finish, Han Yu ordered the exploding locusts to charge straight at Zhang Bin's Divine Realm core. He yelled, voice full of resolve, "No matter what today, I'm smashing his core." Explosions kept going off, causing Zhang Bin excruciating pain. He knelt down, tears streaming, begging, "Stop. I admit defeat. I promise I won't bully you anymore. If you have any demands, just say them. I'll do it. In short, stop." But Han Yu wasn't moved, just replied with a cold smile, "I don't need anything from you. I just want you gone." Just then a stern voice boomed, making Han Yu turn in surprise. "Enough, Han Yu, stop." A man with powerful energy surrounding him appeared, saying seriously, "Han Yu, stop. You've won, no need to finish him off completely. You've won, no need to finish him off completely." Zhang Bin recognized it was Teacher Liu and was overjoyed, quickly tattling, "Teacher Liu, stop this maniac. My parents will—" But before he could finish, the exploding locusts charged into his core, creating huge cracks. Zhang Bin's Divine Realm core started shattering. He watched in panic as his body convulsed, screaming, "No! Teacher Liu, save me." Teacher Liu saw the scene and angrily shouted, "Han Yu, are you ignoring me?" But Han Yu wasn't scared. He stared coldly at the teacher. "Teacher Liu, let me ask you something. Why are you here now?" Teacher Liu quickly replied, voice authoritative, "As the homeroom teacher, I can sense what's happening with everyone in class." Han Yu nodded but pressed on sharply. "Okay then, let me ask another. When Zhang Bin was beating me, extorting me, bullying me, where were you? Why didn't you show up?" That question left Teacher Liu speechless, his voice fading in embarrassment. "Do you have demigod parents? Why should I risk offending the Zhang family for you? Stop now and I'll smooth this over for you." Han Yu heard that, his eyes growing even colder. One last question. If today I got attacked and my divine realm core was smashed, would you have shown up to stop it? Faced with that, Teacher Liu was at a loss for words. Han Yu saw his reaction and gave a bitter smile. All right, I know the answer. Right then, the exploding locusts completely destroyed Zhang Bin's divine realm core. He screamed in despair as his divine realm shattered into pieces. My divine realm! Han Yu turned to Teacher Liu with a serious tone. Teacher Liu, please leave my divine realm. The battle's over. The screen where the students were watching went dark. Zhang Bin returned to the real world completely broken, muttering, It's over, really over. I'm just a nobody now. Teacher Liu was furious, storming into the classroom and yelling, Han Yu, get out of here! But looking around, he asked in surprise, Where's Han Yu? Did he go home? A student answered. Yeah, he went home. Teacher Liu gritted his teeth. A student like that needs to be expelled. Meanwhile, in his own divine realm, Han Yu stood among thousands of flying, exploding locusts, opened his stats panel and thought, Looks like I need to keep training these exploding locusts. He pulled out a red divine realm fragment radiating strong energy. I got Zhang Bin's divine power fragment. Perfect for merging into my divine realm. Han Yu held the fragment up and started merging it. In no time, his divine realm expanded dramatically, becoming vast and brilliant. The system announced rewards, Level 2, Divine Realm Core, 820 Dwarf Clan members, and some iron equipment. Han Yu looked at his magnificent divine realm and smiled contentedly. The rewards are solid. This should be enough to graduate. But before he could celebrate, he remembered Zhang Bin's words, This isn't over. If Zhang Bin's parents come after me, it'll depend on Liu's attitude, but the school won't protect me. Guess I have to keep developing. He tapped the sell button on the system panel and muttered, Let's see if I can trade for something good. A moment later, the system notification surprised Han Yu. Someone bought it already. The next line read, The other party offers Mars resin. Han Yu jumped. I remember Mars resin boosts fire element, clan durability, and increases explosion power. Without hesitation, he accepted. Instantly, Mars resin appeared in the air, radiating powerful energy. The exploding locusts quickly transformed. The system displayed Lava Locust Clan, 1-level Clan Level 2 elite creatures, fanatical faith followers, lifespan 3 cycles of 250 days. Han Yu knelt down, picked up a lava locust, and threw it hard at the rock ahead. An earth-shattering explosion erupted, leaving him shocked. The damage from the lava locust is like a grenade. Plus, it sprays lava on impact, causing widespread damage. Do I have a grenade squad now? At the same time, in the teacher's room, an angry voice rang out. My son had his divine realm core shattered. He can't rebuild it. Your school owes me an explanation. The teacher faced the rage and softly explained, From what we know, this invasion was started by your son, Zhang Bin. Plus, Zhang Bin has bullied other students before violating school rules. But before she could finish, the man gritted his teeth. What do you mean? Are you saying my son deserved his divine realm core shattered? The Zhang family has no responsibility. You teachers have no responsibility. The woman behind crossed her arms, furious. Any student who shatters a classmate's divine realm core will be punished. Mrs. Zhang, hands on her hips, demanded force him to drop out. Han Yu crossed his arms, watching his lava locusts fly around, muttering, Use accelerated growth to breed more lava locusts. Suddenly, the system screen showed a call from homeroom teacher Shu. Han Yu's face turned serious. What was coming had arrived. Teacher Shu answered sternly, Han Yu, this is Teacher Shu. I need to talk to you. Zhang Bin's parents are at school demanding punishment for you. Before she could finish, Teacher Shu seemed to recall Mrs. Zhang's words. That kind of person must be expelled. Facing Mrs. Zhang's anger, Teacher Shu calmly explained, We've looked into the whole story. Zhang Bin initiated the invasion of Han Yu's divine realm. In this confrontation, Han Yu relied entirely on his own strength, no cheating. We have no reason to expel him. Mrs. Zhang clenched her fists in fury. Fine, so you're covering for the kid who destroyed my son's divine realm core. Is that your school's policy? Teacher Shu calmly responded, Mrs. Zhang, please don't twist the facts. Han Yu is a good student who always follows the rules. We have plenty of evidence proving that your son Truong Ban has bullied him multiple times. Mrs. Truong frowned, her voice defiant. Don't bother explaining at length to me. I'm asking you, are you going to expel him or not? Ms. Hua firmly refused. Sorry, I can't do it. Mr. Truong, overhearing the conversation, crossed his arms in anger, releasing a burst of energy. He said to Director Hua, "I can accept the school not punishing Hanvu severely, but as the victim I need to vent this frustration. If even this small request isn't met, then I don't need to worry about the school's reputation." Then Miss Hua raised her head, her eyes sharply looking at the screen, and spoke sternly. "Hanvu, finally. Trongban's parents suggested allowing a team of over 1,000 people into your divine realm. No matter the outcome, they won't pursue it further. This is the best protection the school can offer. Can you do it?" Without waiting for an answer, the main character casually put his hands in his pockets, voice relaxed but confident. "Thanks for helping me, Teacher Shu. I'll be at school tomorrow to face this challenge." After saying that, Han Yu hung up, his eyes flashing with determination. He muttered, "Looks like I need to level up quickly for the second life sacrifice." With that, he drew a magic circle, creating a strong energy pull that sucked in the locust swarm. Soon after, a brilliant light pillar shot up from the ground carrying majestic golden energy. After the sacrifice ritual, the system showed 3 options that left Han Yu astonished. Trading 48 billion locusts for a treasure is no small price. After careful thought, he decided selecting option 3 and thinking, "I'll go with this one." Instantly, an old man with white hair and 4 arms exuding terrifying energy appeared before him. The system also displayed Sword Peak Race, Sword Peak Clan Rank, Hero Creature Talent, Sword Peak Skill, Full Wind, Slash. The old man said sternly, "Oh, Divine One, I need a sword." Han Yu replied calmly, "No problem." He quickly tapped the Divine Equipment section on the system panel, calculating, "In the past 2 days, I've bred a ton of locusts, building up power to the limit. When it reaches 100 million, it forms a divine power point. Add the leftover divine power from the previous sale, and I have 54 points total." After selecting, Han Yu gave the old man a great storm sword. He said, "Your weapon, Great Storm Sword." Sword Peak took the sword and tested its power by slashing fierce sword energy forward. Satisfied with the weapon's strength, he turned and added, "Oh, Divine One, I need 3 more of the same weapons to reach my full potential." Hearing that, Han Yu's eyes widened. 3 more Great Storm Swords? That's straightforward. That's 150 divine power points. Do you think divine power grows on trees? Though annoyed, he accepted and tapped the system panel. The fight against the 1,000-strong army of demigod Zhang Gong tomorrow can't be underestimated. He thought, "I have no choice but to try." Meanwhile, in her own divine realm, Qin Song was meditating, her body surrounded by sparkling lightning. Around her, birds soared in the sky and suddenly landed on her shoulders. Qin Song closed her eyes, silent, as if blending with the space. Suddenly, memories flooded back the image of her being swept away by water. In that critical moment, Han Yu jumped in to save her and performed CPR. When she woke up, Qin Song looked at him dazedly, her cheeks flushing with embarrassment. She thought, "Han Yu, you fool. If they exploit you, that's on you. My grandfather is a real god, and my family has 23 demigods. Can't they protect you?" As she was lost in thought, the system screen showed a call from Han Yu, startling Qin Song. "No," Han Yu replied coldly. As soon as she answered, she asked eagerly, "Have you changed your mind and agreed to be my servant?" "No," Han Yu replied coldly. "No, I just want to borrow some of your divine power." Hearing that Qin Song was puzzled, her tone questioning, "You want to borrow my divine power? What makes you think you can, your trash clan? Don't think beating Zhang Bin in that invasion means you're hot stuff. Your self-destructing royal worms are barely upper class. They don't mean much." Those sharp words made Han Yu hang up immediately. Why did I snap at him? I didn't mean it. Does he misunderstand? Of course he does. Without delay, she called Han Yu back. When he answered, she hesitated. "What is it? How much do you need's account number?" Han Yu responded indifferently, then quickly bought 3 more Great Storm Swords for Sword Peak. He sighed, "Old man Sword Peak, I'm broke now. Can you step up your game?" At the same time, in the classroom, students were whispering non-stop, "He actually dared to show up. Isn't he afraid his divine realm will be flattened by the demigod's army? Has he gotten too cocky? I want to see if he'll stay calm when his divine realm center is destroyed." As Han Yu walked in, all eyes turned to him. He glanced at the crowd and thought, "Looks like everyone's in the know. Wait till I surprise you all." Qin Song approached, her voice worried. Are you borrowing my divine power to level up and take on the demigod? I advise you not to bite off more than you can chew. Even a small team of heavenly beings would be too much for you now. But Han Yu remained calm. I have no other choice. Chinsong stepped closer, serious. You do have a choice. Just become my slave and I'll have my family pressure Zhang Gang. His family only has one demigod, while mine has a true god and 23 demigods. He won't dare defy us. Hearing that, Han Yu just turned and walked away, saying lightly, I appreciate your kindness. Go on ahead. I need to prepare to face the demigod's heavenly army. A student who saw this gritted his teeth in jealousy. Han Yu, what makes you so special that Chinsong treats you like that? You worthless trash, today you're done for. Just then, Luo Tian opened the classroom door and warmly invited Zhang Bin's parents in. Please come in. After they stepped up to the podium, Zhang Bin's father pointed at Han Yu, furious. You bastard, how dare you shatter my son's divine realm core? I'll tear you apart! Luo Tian quickly intervened. Don't break school rules. Seeing Han Yu still sitting calmly, the man yelled, Han Yu, get over here! Don't waste Mr. Zhang's time. Faced with the urging, Han Yu just smirked. I want to wait for Teacher Shu to be here as a witness. Luo Tian slammed his hand on the desk in irritation. Is this petty issue worth bothering, Teacher Shu? Me as a witness is already more than you deserve. If not, don't blame me for not being nice. Start now, or don't blame me for not being nice. Right then, Teacher Shu walked in, arms crossed, asking coldly, Teacher Liu, not nice to whom? Luo Tian scratched his head awkwardly. Teacher Shu, this minor thing doesn't need you. I was just lecturing the student. Teacher Shu replied sternly, Teacher Liu, remember you're a school teacher, not a demigod's lapdog. Got it. Luo Tian crossed his arms reluctantly. Since Teacher Shu is here, let's begin. Teacher Shu turned to Han Yu, concerned. Han Yu, are you ready? He confidently answered yes. Zhang Bin's father pulled out a card and activated its power. He declared, let's start. Instantly, Han Yu was teleported into the divine realm. There thousands of monsters with glowing eyes waited. In a flash, countless fierce wolves appeared, eyes blood red. The pack leader wore sturdy iron armor. A student witnessing this exclaimed in shock, Wolf Riders, all elite creatures. The Wolf Rider captain is an extraordinary being mastering superior strength. Wolf Riders combined with green orcs and dire wolves plus full refined armor. Han Yu is done for. In the divine realm, the Wolf Riders lined up neatly, ready for battle. In the barren space, dust flying. Zhang Bin's father crossed his arms and angrily shouted, You bastard, yesterday you crushed my son's divine realm core. Today, I'll make you pay in blood. Chinsong watched and felt a twinge of worry, whispering, The Wolf Riders could clearly be 2 fighting units. They said 1,000 soldiers were sent. Suddenly, she noticed something. Her face paled in horror. That's clearly 2,000 fighting units. This is a trick. As Zhang Bin's father loudly ordered, thousands of Wolf Riders charged at Han Yu with ferocity. But the main character stayed calm. Crossing his arms and summoning a massive swarm of exploding locusts like a plague attacking the Wolf Riders. The students watching were shocked, buzzing, nearly 7 million elite locusts. Weren't there only 20,000 yesterday? In just one day, he bred 7 million elite locusts. This breeding power is terrifying. Even if they're low-level creatures with that number, it's no small thing. However, the exploding locusts only caused minor wounds to the Wolf Riders. Luo Tian nearby gritted his teeth, thinking, this kid is a real talent. But this challenge is too tough. Otherwise, with that potential, he could be a top student. Just then, a student pointed up, yelling, What's that? The Wolf Riders all looked up. In an instant, from his dark sky, swarms of lava locusts rained down like fire, making the Wolf Riders panic and roar. When the lava locusts hit the ground, they exploded violently, flinging Wolf Riders into the air. Teacher Shu and Chinsong watched, unable to hide their shock. Chinsong exclaimed, What the heck? That explosion's stronger than the regular exploding locusts. What are lava locusts? Some super creature. Teacher Shu turned to the students, serious. Is there any teacher or student who can scout abilities? Share the info on these locusts with everyone. After some investigation, a young man with bright eyes said, Got it. Those locusts are called lava locusts, elite level. Hearing that, Teacher Shu clenched her fist, impressed. Han Yu, you're amazing. Zhang Bin's father was furious, waving his hand to send energy down, roaring, "Did you think these insects could wipe out my wolf riders? Dream on." As the pack leader absorbed the energy, it went berserk, opening its mouth and roaring powerfully. The wolf riders all tilted their heads and released freezing blasts, forming a huge ice wall. The lava locusts hitting it exploded instantly. The freezing blast spread rapidly, leaving students in awe. That's a demigod for you. Outsmarted by a little trick. An extraordinary body releasing a wide-range skill like that? Now Han Yu's locust swarm is down to 500,000, of which the lava locusts are almost gone. This time that kid can't turn it around. Zhang Bin's father, in a rage, led the monsters charging at Han Yu, yelling, "You little bastard! I'll show you despair! When your divine realm core is shattered and your power collapses, you'll be kicked out of school. Then your fate is in my hands. Shatter its core." The wolf riders sped past Han Yu, heading straight for the divine realm core. Teacher Shu watched and sadly turned away, muttering, "It's over." But before she could finish, Qin Song shouted, "Look! What's in front of Han Yu's divine realm core?" The wolf riders suddenly stopped upon seeing a figure standing before the core. In a flash, the shadow revealed itself as Sword Peak, with 4 arms holding 4 great swords, face as cold as ice. 1 great storm sword costs 50 divine power, 4 is 200. First, the students stared in shock. That's a great storm sword. 1 costs 50 divine power. 4 is 200. Isn't Han Yu an orphan? How does he have that much money? And what race is this guy? The Sword Peak clan has an innate extraordinary body. Teacher Shu said seriously, "That's the Sword Peak clan." The Sword Peak clan has an innate extraordinary body. A student asked, "So what if it's innate extraordinary? Isn't Zhang Bin's wolf rider captain also extraordinary?" Xin Song stared at Sword Peak on the screen, thinking, this Sword Peak clan's presence isn't just extraordinary. This is clearly a genuine hero. On the other side, Zhang Bin's father gritted his teeth. "I worked 15 years to raise 1 hero. How does this high school kid deserve an elite race like that? I'll take it. I must take that hero body. Once I shatter the core, the Sword Peak clan is mine." Sword Peak sneered, eyes sharp with killing intent. As the wolf riders charged, he immediately fought back, swinging his 4 swords to slay the monsters in front. A huge monster opened its mouth and blasted cold air, freezing Sword Peak's legs so he couldn't move. 3 other monsters charged at him immediately, but Kiem Fong didn't flinch at all. He raised his 4 swords high, his face cold and stern. Suddenly, he unleashed energy into the air, creating a fierce vortex that expanded into a terrifying storm. With a powerful strike, Kiem Fong released a massive explosion, blasting the monsters away in a destructive wave. The students watching were stunned and exclaimed, "Oh my gosh, that's insane." After the intense battle, Kiem Fong emerged completely unharmed. Meanwhile, the wolf riders were left with just a few heads rolling around. Trung Kung's father looked furious and ordered angrily, "Damn it, wolf rider leader, wipe out this divine realm for me." The wolf leader stepped forward, radiating terrifying energy, with blood-red eyes fixed on Kiem Fong and Han Vu. Just then a voice rang out, making Trung Kung's father jump. "Demigod, are you breaking your own pact?" The principal, exuding majestic energy, arrived with his arms crossed. Trung Kung's father panicked and quickly waved his hand, ordering, "Wolf riders, retreat." Then he glanced down at Kiem Fong and Han Vu without saying a word. A moment later, he smiled approvingly. "Not bad." The scene shifts back to the school. A teacher spoke up, "Han Vu, you did a great job. But don't get cocky just because you have heroic powers. With your current strength, it's tough to crack the top 3 in the class." Han Vu replied seriously, "Teacher Hua, I have something to ask you." She asked, "What is it?" The main guy answered seriously, "I want to switch classes." Loc Thien heard this and waved his hands in confusion. "Han Vu, I admit I didn't pay much attention to you before." But I promise to guide you better. The daily teaching materials will be adjusted to suit you too. Give me a chance to make it right." But Han Vu ignored that and insisted, "I want to switch classes." Teacher Hua explained seriously, "Han Vu, switching classes isn't that simple. The school has its own rules. If you really want to switch, you have to pass a test arranged by the school. As long as you meet the standard, I'll help you transfer to another class." Hearing that, Han Vu clenched his fist, his eyes flashing with determination. "Then I'll take the test." Tan Song stood up right away and said, "Teacher Hua, I want to take it too. I'm sure I'll change. We don't need to make a big deal out of switching classes. But Tan Song replied coldly, I'm not upset or anything. I just don't want to stay in this class anymore. At the same time, a guy sitting nearby raised his hand and shouted, Teacher Hua, I want to take the test too. Hearing the requests from the three students, Loc Thien clenched his fists in anger and yelled furiously, Trung Hiu Long, you're the class president. How could you go along with this? Teacher Lu has always cared for and guided you. Trung Hiu Long calmly replied, Thank you for caring and guiding me, but I can't stay at this class anymore. He glanced at Tan Song's beautiful figure, his eyes flashing with determination as he thought, Tan Song, I won't let anyone else have you. After hearing their requests, Teacher Hua turned to Loc Thien and said, Tomorrow I'll organize the test for them. Teacher Lu, come with me. A while later, the school bell rang at 3 p.m. As soon as class ended, Tan Song rushed over to Han Vu and asked loudly, Han Vu, tell me what exactly is your heroic life? What's that got to do with you? Seeing that Han Vu didn't answer, she pressed on aggressively, Of course it does. You owe me 150 divine power points. If you can't pay, you'll have to work as my servant to pay it off. So I have the right to know where your hero's life comes from. Han Yu replies coolly, If you want your debt, I can pay 5 divine power points up front as interest. But if you want to learn about my hero's life, I'm afraid I can't tell you. After saying that, he teleports into his own divine realm, leaving Qin Song furious and on the verge of exploding. In Han Yu's divine realm, warm rays of light shine down on the ground, creating a majestic and grand scene. As soon as he enters, he opens the system panel to check the number of locusts, thinking to himself, With this amount, tomorrow's test will be really tough. Just then, Sword Edge flies over and respectfully asks, Great deity, the wolf riders have fled and are hiding in the forest. Should we wipe them out? Han Vu pondered. The wolf riders aren't all destroyed. There are still dozens that escaped. Trung Kung must have left them in his divine realm for some shady plan. We need to handle this quickly, but killing them all would be a waste. He ordered, Go capture the wolf riders alive and bring them here. Make sure they're alive. We'll find a use for them later. Kim Fong obeyed. As you command. A while later, he brought all the surviving wolf riders to Han Vu. The system displayed, Do you want to sacrifice all the locusts and wolf riders? Han Vu didn't hesitate and hit, Yes. In an instant, his body erupted with raging energy, forming a whirlwind that sucked in the monsters for sacrifice. A moment later, the system showed 3 rewards. The Alpha Robot blueprints for a forge that can build a large furnace highly likely to create faith equipment, and Tower X, which provides long-range vision and predicts enemy invasions. Han Yu crosses his arms and sighs in disappointment. The machines are fine, but can my mindless locusts operate them? The furnace is the same. Is there any hope that the locusts can refine anything? What about the tower? How can it rise when this divine realm has everything laid out and nothing fits? Suddenly he remembers something. It seems he still has a few hundred dwarves that he took from Jiang Bin. He wonders how they're doing. He immediately uses his Eagle Eye skill to observe. I wonder how they're doing. He immediately used his Eagle Eye skill to check. In his view, the dwarves were busy mining resources. One dwarf spotted Han Vu's eye floating in the air and respectfully exclaimed, "Oh, great deity! Thank you for granting us this wonderful life." After observing, Han Vu concluded, after capturing the dwarves as prisoners, he only ordered them to mine resources. It seems their talents and passion are all for mining and crafting equipment. Trungbun forced them to fight, suppressing their natural abilities. They're really gifted at making equipment. I could have them handle the logistics for the forge. That would be useful. He declared, "I grant you all a large forge to create better equipment." But the dwarves cheered together. "The deity has bestowed this upon us." At the same time, in the teacher's meeting room, Loc Thien said seriously, "Dear colleagues, you must have heard about the 3 students, Han Vu Tan Song and Trung Hiu Long, who want to take a test to switch classes. The school has given us the authority to prepare the test. What do you all think?" Another teacher calmly replied, "What else can we do? We should thank Teacher Lu for this gift. These 3 top students want to switch classes. You're basically handing us an opportunity." I'm Tian, gritting my teeth in annoyance. I don't care much about Tan Song and Trung Hiu Long's tests, but for Han Vu, I want his test to be at the highest difficulty level. I haven't asked for favors before, but this time, as colleagues, please help me save face. The two teachers immediately raised their hands in agreement, making Loc Tien feel triumphant. He thought to himself, just because of these 3 switching classes yesterday, Teacher Hua yelled at me all day and I lost my semester ranking. Hanvu, just you wait. The scene shifts to Hanvu's class. As soon as he walked in, Loc Tien pulled out 3 test papers and announced, "These are the requirements for your tests. Hu Lung and Tan Sang's tests are at level 1, stop 1,000 invaders." But when Hanvu looked at his test, he was speechless. It said, class transfer test level 10, you need to stop 10,000 invaders. Good luck on your test. Tan Sang worriedly said, Teacher Lu, do you want to rethink Hanvu's test? Loc Tien held the test paper between his fingers and smiled confidently. This has nothing to do with Teacher Hua. Teacher Lu just wants you to show your skills to your new teacher. Hanvu calmly turned and walked away, making Loc Tien furious. Don't get cocky! Tan Sang ran after him, shouting, my offer still stands. If you become my servant, I'll make sure no one in this school bullies you. Hanvu declined. I'll take your kind offer into consideration. We'll talk after the test. Tan Sang huffed in annoyance. You're so ungrateful. On the other side, Trung Hulong smirked slyly. Hanvu, you're in for some embarrassment. As soon as the test started, a massive horde of monsters swarmed in like the Mongol army. The students watching were shocked and buzzing. I heard Hanvu's test is at the highest level. That's what you get for ticking off Teacher Lu. Let's sit back and watch the show. Hanvu looked at the huge crowd of fire-resistant goblins and cursed under his breath. Damn, Loc Tien, you're not human anymore. There are so many fire-resistant goblins. Loc Tien saw Hanvu's reaction and smirked smugly. Hanvu, if you have beef, blame yourself for turning down my offer. This army of 10,000 goblins is enough to smash through your divine realm. A teacher nearby cheerfully congratulated, Congrats on your successful revenge, Teacher Lu. There shouldn't be grudges between teachers and students. After this test, Hanvu will surely understand your tough love. Meanwhile, Teacher Hua watched Hanvu's battle closely and encouraged him worriedly. Hang in there, Hanvu. Hanvu shouted orders. Locust Legion attack! The Locusts charged at the goblins. But when the Locusts' flames erupted, the goblins weren't affected at all. Other goblins burst from the smoke, grabbed the Locusts, and threw them toward Hanvu. When they collided, massive explosions rocked the air. Hanvu was stunned. Normal insects can't do any damage. In that moment, he summoned thousands more Locusts and ordered Locusts attack. The goblins panicked as the swarm of Locusts descended. In a flash, they collided with the goblins, causing earth-shattering explosions. A while later, Tan Sang and Trung Hulong finished their tests and stepped out of the machine. The students were amazed. Tan Sang and Trung Hulong are done. Looks like Hanvu is in trouble. Locusts are low-level creatures. Even if you train them well, they can't turn the tide. This is bad. In his divine realm, Hanvu waved his hand and ordered, Explosive Locusts attack! As the explosive Locusts charged in, they detonated immediately, causing massive explosions that sent hordes of goblins flying. However, thousands of goblins kept pouring and swarming Hanvu's divine realm like ants, impossible to stop. A student witnessing this was shocked and said, Hanvu is done for this time, even if he has his heroic life card. How can he take out 500 red goblins? Tan Sang was worried inside, but still bad-mouthed him. Let him go wild. Maybe the goblins will smash his divine core. She used her energy to create a vortex in the air and turned to Hanvu, advising, Hanvu, if you can't hold on, just admit defeat. Failing isn't the end of the world. I believe with time you'll break through quickly. But despite Teacher Hua's advice, Hanvu stayed firm, saying confidently, Teacher Hua, I've made up my mind, so I'll see it through. Even if it's just the last one standing, I won't back down. Besides, I haven't lost yet. In a flash, Kiem Fong unleashed countless sharp sword energies, blasting the goblins away. But another group kept spitting out intense red flames, relentlessly attacking Hanvu's divine core. Explosions echoed everywhere, and a student exclaimed in shock, It looks like Hanvu's heroic life form is damaged. Hanvu is about to lose. Even though Kiem Fong was under heavy attack from the goblins, he screamed in agony. Loc Tien watched this and smirked with satisfaction. Hanvu, this is the final lesson from me. You better learn it well. Suddenly, a guy next to Loc Tien pointed and shouted in surprise, Everyone look at that! It's the Dwarf Legion. As they approached Hanvu, the dwarf leader raised his hammer and yelled, "Protect the deity!" The goblins panicked and had no time to react as the dwarf legion charged in fiercely. The students couldn't hide their surprise. Isn't that Trungbun's core race? With skills like that, they could easily rank in the top 10. After a fierce battle, the dwarves wiped out all the goblins, leaving their bodies scattered in smoke everywhere. Hanvu was thrilled and clenched his fist. "Great job!" Teacher Hua and Tan Sung couldn't contain their excitement and cheered, "Awesome! We won!" But Locusts was furious, grinding his teeth and growling, "Damn it!" In an instant, the teachers scrambled to recruit Hanvu, Tan Sung, and Trung Hyu Long to their classes. One teacher said, "Tan Sung, come to my class. I have resources that are perfect for developing your thunder race." Another teacher added, "Trung Hyu Long, I have secret techniques for nurturing demon races in my class. If you join, I'll give them to you." Another teacher targeted Hanvu. "Hanvu, come to my class. I'm willing to provide a much stronger dwarf army." Hanvu and Tan Sang hesitated a bit. Meanwhile, Trung Hyu Long glanced at Tan Sang and thought, "Tan Sang, wherever you go, I'll follow." Hanvu asked seriously, "Teacher Hua, can I ask you something? Why was my test so much harder?" Teacher Hua crossed her arms and calmly replied, "The difficulty of the test is decided by all the department heads together." Hanvu demanded seriously, "I want to see their voting results." She handed him the compiled feedback on the class transfer test. After reading it, Hanvu immediately ruled out the teachers who supported Locusts. Those teachers glared at Locusts with cold eyes. "I shouldn't have helped Lu Locusts, that jerk." Turning to the two teachers who didn't support Locusts, Hanvu asked seriously, "Thank you both for voting against it. If I join your class, what can you offer me?" The older teacher calmly replied, "Hanvu, today's test shows you have a great talent for nurturing dwarves. If you join my class, I'll provide an army of at least 10,000 dwarves. With that army, you can easily make it to the top 10 in the department." The younger teacher argued sharply, "Nurturing your core race is what matters most. I have plenty of resources for insect races. If you join my class, I'll help perfect the evolution process of your locust race." Hearing that Hanvu's group didn't hesitate and declared, "Teacher Van Dien, I want to join your class." Tan Sang followed, "I want to join your class too. Please accept me." Trung Hyu Long added, "Please let me join your class." Yes, Van Dien was thrilled like he'd struck gold. "This year I can win the Outstanding Teacher Award for sure. All right, all of you can join my class." He pulled out 3 cards and handed them to Hanvu's group. "These are gifts for new students. I prepared them for you." Hanvu looked at the card's content, his eyes lighting up as he thought, "This is clearly made for me." He stroked his chin and reasoned, "Build an insect nest in the back of the divine realm, combining the 2 level 1 relics, Heart of Fury and Fiery Lava. That way the insect nest can maximize the power of these items and support the insect's evolution." He bowed to Van Dien. "Thank you, teacher." Van Dien laughed. "No need to thank me. Show your gratitude with your results." Teacher Hua said, "Dear teachers, today's test was just a small exercise. No need to take it too seriously. But the upcoming school-wide exam is extremely important. It affects resource distribution and big rewards. I don't need to say more, right?" In his divine realm, Hanvu opened the system panel and checked his race numbers. 2040, 0,000 locusts. 5,000 explosive locusts, 300 dwarf soldiers. 1 heroic life form, Kiem Fong. He crossed his arms and sighed deeply, thinking it's pretty tragic. With this strength, I'll probably end up last in the exam 7 days from now. I need to keep creating elite troops. Suddenly, the system displayed dwarf soldiers. Hanvu was surprised and said, "They evolved, now they're soldiers." He flew over to check. The system showed an image of a dwarf soldier with info after going through a desperate battle. Normal dwarves evolved into an elite race. Racial talent. Forging with fiery blood. Racial talent. Forging with fiery blood. Hanvu flew above and exclaimed in surprise, "I didn't expect them to evolve into elites naturally. If this were my core race, that would be perfect. First, I need to restore the race's numbers." A while later, Hanvu gathered energy in his palms. With a determined look, he said, "Great. The locust numbers are up to 7.3 billion. This time we're bound to get something good." He released the energy, creating a fierce whirlwind that sucked in the locusts for sacrifice. As the energy faded, the system showed two options, making Hanvu exclaim in surprise. Here we go. Option 1. Level 2 Relic Gluttony Magic. When loaded into the Divine Core, the race gains gluttony abilities. Food intake capacity increases 1,000-fold, supporting self-evolution. Option 2. Hero Mold upgrades a transcendent life form to a heroic life form. Tansang, standing nearby, clasped her hands excitedly. This is amazing, it's so hard to choose. Hanvu rubbed his chin and reasoned, gluttony magic could turn normal locusts into elite life forms. But I can't feed that many. The hero mold upgrades a transcendent life form to a hero. But one divine point equals 1,000 faith points, or 100,000 divine power. That's like winning the lottery. In the end, he selected the first option. I can't afford 100,000 elite locusts right now. I'll use gluttony magic for the insect nest first, starting with 1,000 per year. A while later, Hanvu pointed ahead in shock. Oh man, is that a terrifying insect or a monstrous lizard? He began naming the giant insect in front of him. I declare you are the explosive king insect. Suddenly in class one afternoon, Tan Song stood behind Hanvu and asked, have you thought about being my servant? Without backup or resources with your current strength, you can't stand out among other demigods. She complained irritably, your locusts are well raised, but they're still too weak overall. You're good at taming dwarves, but that's not your core race. Before Tan Song could finish, Hanvu replied, I appreciate your kindness. Whether I can do it or not, we'll find out after the exam. Trung Hiu-lung sat quietly watching, grinding his teeth and growling, Hanvu, one day I'll make sure you're completely out of Tan Sang's sight. Von Dien entered the class, crossed his arms, and said seriously, this overall exam will determine future resource allocation for the class. This is hugely important. Top students will get rewards like relics, divine realms, land plots, cores, and race legions. Exam rules. Read them carefully. The system displays the rules divided into two phases. One elimination phase, all students take tests of the same difficulty. Those who pass get cumulative points. Those who fail get expelled. Two ranking phase tests use endless battle mode. Each wave survived increases individual and class rankings. Hanvu was shocked. Failing means getting kicked out. That's brutal, but the rewards are worth the risk. Tansang clenched her fist, eyes determined. For the rewards, let's go for it. Von Dien declared coldly, the exam starts now. Hanvu was teleported into his divine realm. The first round of the overall exam begins. He commanded thousands of his race to charge. Smoke and dust filled the air as his race prepared for battle. On the other side, massive monsters slowly advanced. Hanvu gritted his teeth. Flesh golems, this is just elimination and they're going all out. Though they're normal life forms, their combat strength is like elites. Their skin is super tough, hard to break, but at least they're slow. He waved his hand and ordered 50,000 explosive king insects attack with lava explosions. When the king insects hit the flesh golems, they caused horrific explosions, making them scream in pain. Hanvu chuckled. Smells like barbecue. Is that for my guys to eat? He ordered next dwarf soldiers drag all the bodies back. 15 minutes later, the locusts had devoured the flesh golems down to the bones. Hanvu was amazed. They ate it all. This isn't a test. It's free food. If the exam keeps going like this, bring it on even harder. In the observation room, Locusts' group watched with arms crossed. One student was eliminated, making a teacher sigh. My class lost 20 students. That's a third gone. Another teacher added, mine's worse, more than half are out. Teacher Hua concluded, the principal and the 3 vice principals are on the front lines fighting the Abyss civilization. They chose flesh golems as enemies for this elimination test for a reason. We demigods shouldn't overthink it. Von Dien saw Hanvu destroy the flesh golems and clenched his fist excitedly. Nice one, kid. Flesh golems are a nightmare for others, but for you, they're just food for your race. He was surprised. Can your race resist the toxicity in the flesh golems? A bald teacher said with interest. The locusts ignore the toxic properties of the flesh golems. This is a new discovery. It's worth studying. But Locusts snorted, coldly annoyed. Just luck. In terms of real strength, his locusts are trash. Von Dien heard Locusts' words and seriously retorted, luck is still part of strength. I think this kid's locusts are far from weak. They're transcendent life forms. Even if they're at the bottom of transcendent life forms, they've still surpassed the norm. Locusts quickly fired back. Locusts as transcendent life forms. They're just locusts. Their overall strategy is only as good as a normal life form. Teacher Vun, you're being biased. In fact, in some ways, they're even worse. Teacher Vun continued. Teacher Lacthine, you're the one who's biased. You can't compare the weaknesses of Locusts to the strengths of other races. Faced with Von Dien's sharp argument, Lacthine had no comeback. He crossed his arms and suggested, fine, let's not argue. The results will speak for themselves. I have a student named Lou Mack with goblins as his race. I bet his final score will beat Han Vu's. Are you in? Teacher Vun laughed. Why not? Let's bet. Lacthine smirked and set the stakes. All right, everyone here as witnesses. We're betting 5 divine points. He looked at Von Dien with a cold stare, thinking, Von Dien, you're done for. Lou Mack is my nephew. I've invested resources in him. Can you afford to do the same for Han Vu? A while later, the system announced the elimination round has ended. 430 participants passed, and 300 chose to enter the ranking evaluation. Lacthine gritted his teeth in anger, and 130 just gave up. What a bunch of cowards, no spine. Von Dien calmly replied, This exam's difficulty is high. It's normal for some to drop out. The students who survived this brutal war are the ones we should focus on. Just then, thousands of emaciated skeletons emerged from the city gates looking eerie like ghosts. 2 teachers witnessing this exclaimed in surprise, This is it. It's not just giving away points, is it? But in Han Vu's divine realm, he sighed in disappointment. I have over 1 billion hungry king insects here. These skeleton soldiers are just making things hard. I have to fight them. He immediately ordered, Thousands of king insects form a massive cloud and dive bomb the skeleton soldiers. But these monsters showed no fear, their eyes glowing red as they stared at the king insects. After the battle, Han Vu knelt down in frustration and yawned. What a bunch of pushovers. When the first wave of skeleton soldiers was defeated, the second wave appeared with glowing red eyes. But in a flash, thousands of king insects exploded, shattering the skeleton soldiers into pieces. Han Vu observed the skeleton soldiers. Trapped in lava, muttering, If the lava keeps rising, those skeleton soldiers won't escape. A bit more heat would be perfect. He ordered dwarf soldiers pour the molten lava from the big furnace onto the ground. The dwarf soldiers quickly poured the lava, creating a blazing river. The area turned into a sea of fire, and Han Vu remarked, If those skeleton soldiers come to the gate now, they'll go straight to the afterlife. I'm a genius. A teacher watching exclaimed in shock, Wow, this kid thinks outside the box. Which class is he from? Von Dien proudly laughed. He's my student. But Lacthine dismissed it. Big deal, he's only made it to Wave 7. Lou Mack in my class is at Wave 7 too. In Lou Mack's divine realm, countless goblin soldiers and towering structures appeared, making a student marvel. Level 1 arrow towers, a beautiful Level 10 main tower, and 2 Level 1 fireballs. Does this guy have a mine or something? Lacthine grinned smugly. Who can compete with me? With this much investment, Lou Mack is guaranteed first place. Suddenly, a voice rang out, startling Lacthine. Everyone check out Tansang's divine realm. At that moment in Tansang's divine realm, a majestic scene unfolded. 100 earth towers, tens of thousands of elite thunder race life forms up to 30 meters tall, and 100 ancient tree scholars. Faced with this powerful display, the teachers couldn't help but admire, their eyes wide with shock. The Tan family heiress is seriously stacked. It's not even fair. I'm a demigod and I don't have that many trump cards. Another added enviously, I heard Tansang is top 3 in her class. Now it looks like top 1 is just like that. I see Tansang's overwhelming power. Lactine's face turned pale, his teeth grinding in suppressed rage. He snarled, Han Vu, it's all because of you. I'll make you pay for this. Right after a stern voice announced the end of Wave M. 18 participants left. Wave M invasion is about to begin. Difficulty increased. Students, prepare yourselves. As soon as it ended, a mysterious shadow stepped out from the gate. A teacher observing turned pale and shouted in horror, Oh no! A heroic life form. The skeleton wore a cloak radiating dark energy all over. This is the Bone Controller, a skeleton race at heroic level. Talent bone manipulation. As the Bone Controller appeared, the broken bones on the ground were enveloped in mysterious dark energy. It exuded a powerful and imposing aura. Then it raised its staff, using energy to fuse the bones into a massive entity. In a flash, a gigantic bony foot formed, stomping down with a thunderous boom. Next, the Bone Controller exploded with energy and roared. A corpse transformed into a massive skeleton glowing with dark energy. Its eyes poured out terrifying black mist. Without stopping, it slammed down with full force, kicking up dust that blanketed the sky. Then it stomped hard again, causing an explosion that shook everything. A teacher witnessing this gaped in shock. In less than 3 minutes, the students retreated. This is too hard. On Hanvu's side. Locusts frowned, noticing something off. He muttered, "Why is the bone giant in Hanvu's divine realm so small? Something's wrong." At the same time, in the main guy's divine realm, the bone giant trembled in fear, clinging to a rock. Von Dien explained seriously, because in Hanvu's divine realm, most of the bones have been melted away. The bone controller doesn't have enough bones to unleash its full power. Just then, Kiem Fong charged in, slashing out countless sharp sword energies, shattering the bone giant's body. This guy easily passed Wave 10 and yawned boredly, but Locusts was furious and yelled, "This is cheating! Absolute cheating! Hanvu must have stolen the test." Von Dien heard this and snapped back, "Do you have proof?" "Von Dien, are you protecting your student? Watch out, I might report you." Locusts continued sternly. Everyone saw it clearly. No one saw Hanvu do anything weird with the bone soldiers. Tell me who cleans up after defeating bone soldiers except him. There was never a bone controller before that could do that. The broken bones on the battlefield would boost the bone controller's power. I'm suspicious that Hanvu knew the test in advance. This is serious cheating. The school must investigate thoroughly. Who am I, after hearing the heated argument explained sternly, this test's content was set by the principal before he left. Even I didn't know the details until it started. If Hanvu knew in advance, it would have to be from the principal. She looked straight at Locusts and asked, "Teacher Lu, do you think the principal would do that?" Locusts heard this, scratched his head awkwardly, and muttered, "Maybe I overthought it. Hanvu just got lucky to beat the bone controller. But even without cheating, this score is way unfair compared to the others." Huamai saw Locusts still being stubborn and explained firmly, "Teacher Lu, as a demigod, don't you find your words ridiculous? The divine realm civilization never promised absolute fairness in nurturing talent. The strong win. As long as Hanvu didn't cheat, whatever he did to get a good score counts. So what fairness are you talking about? Do you think it's fair that your nephew Lu Mac got all those resources through connections? Or that Tan Song gets millions in divine power from her family? Is that fair?" Von Dien listened and clenched his fist in anger, roaring, "You scum! So Lu Mac is your nephew. No wonder you pushed me to bet on him. There's a saying, no risk, no reward. Hanvu passed Wave M, but your nephew Lu Mac can't even make Wave 11. It's like climbing to the sky." In Lu Mac's divine realm, the scene was devastated. Goblins lay scattered everywhere in ruins, making him despair and say, "Looks like this is it. I can't fight anymore." Lu Mac said, blankly looking up at the massive bone giant in front of him and trembling, "I forfeit." At that moment, Von Dien turned to Locusts with a cold stare. "The bet's results are clear. My student Hanvu passed Wave M, but your nephew didn't. Teacher Lu, with witnesses here, don't try to dodge the bet." An hour later, the system announced the end after 13 waves. 1 hour later, the system announced end after 13 waves, with 3 left: Hanvu, Tansang, and Huang Fi. A teacher observing said excitedly, "We have the 3 names. Next, let's see who takes first." First, in Huang Fi's divine realm, a group of skeleton soldiers radiating dark energy appeared. Their blood-red eyes made him scream in fear, "I surrender! I forfeit." Meanwhile, Tan Sang's divine realm had turned into a wasteland, smoke and dust everywhere. With no other choice, she raised her hand and said bitterly, "I forfeit." Seeing this, Huamai couldn't hide her joy and surprise, exclaiming, as expected, "Hanvu is first." In Hanvu's divine realm, he waved his hand, sending thousands of Lava King insects flying. As soon as they hit the ground, massive explosions shook the space. The bone giant roared, trying to pull the bones toward itself, but before it could, Hanvu charged in and tore it apart. Yes, a while later, the system announced Wave 20 ended. Wave 21 begins. Difficulty increased. Students, prepare yourselves. The new challenge came from the massive stone gate. Bolts of lightning shot out fiercely, lighting up the space. Hanvu stared in shock. That's huge. Just then, a striking woman radiating mysterious dark energy sat arrogantly on a throne. The teachers stared and exclaimed together, "It's the ancient dragon spirit lord." Facing the massive ancient dragon, the main guy hesitated slightly and muttered, "This is the final challenge. A spirit lord level whatever. Let's go with it." He raised his hand and said decisively, "I report. I forfeit." The woman heard this and jumped up in shock, yelling, "What?" Immediately, the ancient dragon was sucked into the gate. She desperately clung to the gate, screaming, "No!" At the same time, an object shot past Han Vu, leaving him frozen in place. The woman also gaped in horror. A moment later, the main guy snapped out of it, turned to the explosion behind him, and wondered, what just happened? Soon the gate vanished, leaving the divine realm eerily quiet. Han Vu was pulled by the energy and began teleporting back to the real world. When the system showed his name at the top, he exclaimed in surprise, "I'm first!" The system continued. Teacher Von Dien's class totals 252 points first place, surpassing by 220 promoted to the 3 major front ranks. Teacher Lac Thien's class totals 192 points 8th place. Lac Thien saw this and bit his lip in rage, cursing, "Damn it! First place was mine, bastard." On the other side, the students panicked. "Oh, crap. I don't want to get expelled." Meanwhile, Han Vu was surrounded by people offering him bouquets and cheering. He smiled brightly and shouted, "It's all mine! It's all mine!" A while later, the system displayed the rewards, a territory stone that increases the divine realm by 100 divine power, a temple creation card. It allows entry to a level 1 temple, a divine power weapon exchange card. It can exchange 10,000 divine power for a divine level weapon, and a divine point boost card gaining 1 divine point. The students marveled, "So many rewards! This guy is set." Han Vu rubbed his chin, looking at the cards on the system panel, and pondered, which one should I exchange for? I need to think this through. But as Han Vu was pondering his choices, Von Dien spoke up from the real world. "I can help you pick the best rewards. Mysterious Forest expands by 20 kilom. The level 1 relic card exchanges for Poison Fog Pearl and Divine Realm Core Stone. Plus 1 level 1 temple is now built." Han Vu rubbed his chin, looked at the glowing Sword of the Storm on the system panel, and muttered, "I can only exchange for 1 weapon. Only the Sword of Storm for Kim Fong will work. The Red Furnace Sword or the hammer won't be useful." After careful consideration, Han Vu stopped at a majestic warhammer, Hellforge warhammer worth 99,999 divine power, forged from the core of the 9-headed Hell Serpent Lord, containing explosive fire abilities. Requirements: a fire-based heroic life form. Staring at the glowing warhammer, Han Vu scratched his head blankly and muttered, "Guess I can't use it right away. I'll have to find a dwarf soldier or a fire-based hero first. Forget it." An hour later, at the vast school, Von Dien stood at the podium and said loudly, "This overall exam has set the bar for the senior class. Those with the skills we believe will soon become elites. Please come up and receive your class rewards." Soon after, Han Vu Tansong and another student stepped forward. Dien Vun points at Han Vu and declares, "Han Vu, in this competition you performed exceptionally well, achieving first place and earning 100 points. In the resource vault you can pick any item." The system board immediately displays the rewards Q Nyun Chi Trung, Life Essence like a spring and the core of Huyen Thiet Or, Level 2 skill Ice Freeze Bullet and Level 2 support skill K Bo Lum Sao, and the extraordinary Life Essence Beast Tiger. After some hesitation, Han Vu makes a firm decision. "I'll take the Life Essence Spring." Dien Vun looks at Han Vu's choice and thinks to himself, "I don't get this kid. He's not just chasing raw power, but also knows his own limits. His future is limitless." As Han Vu returns to his seat, a student excitedly shouts, "Congratulations, big shot of the class." Right after that, student approaches and eagerly suggests, "Han Vu, sell me your divine points. I'll trade you 100 million divine power for them." Han Vu hears this and gets a bit annoyed, turns to him and asks, "Give me a reason." The student replies without hesitation, "Why need a reason? Just say yes, and 100 million divine power is yours. With that amount, you can change your life and your fate." Hearing those sweet words, Han Vu bluntly refuses, "No." Seeing the refusal, the student clasps his hands and begs, "Come on, Han. My grandfather is about to level up to true God and really needs the divine points. Trade them to me. Besides divine power, I'll owe you a favor." Han Vu glances at him, thinking, 100 million divine power is a big number, but if I get more divine points, the number of locusts in my divine realm could multiply by 10. Then earning more divine points would be a piece of cake. Finally, Han Vu says decisively, "If that's the case." But before he finishes, his phone in his pocket vibrates. Hanvu pulls it out, and the screen shows a message from Tan Song. You got the divine points this time. I'll buy them for 150 million divine power. What do you think? Hanvu reads it and exclaims in surprise, 150 million divine power. You're loaded. Then another message from Tan Song pops up. Is one divine point only worth 100 million divine power? Don't you know anything about its value? After reading, Hanvu realizes, muttering, oh, I see. Wait, but I already promised. He turns to the student and yells, get lost. The student hears this, storms off angrily, grumbling, Hanvu, you'll regret this. But Hanvu's mind is filled with images of stacks of money raining down. He can't hold back his excitement, mumbling, am I going to swim in cash? The scene shifts to Hanvu's small house in the divine realm. He's hovering in the air, observing the houses below. A level 1 temple is built near the Red Dwarf's furnace. Winds whirl, carrying dry leaves through the space. Hanvu thinks to himself, place the life essence spring near the desert. In no time, the land here will become fertile. Then, Hanvu hands the Hellfire War Command to the Red Dwarves. They are shocked and kneel down, shouting in unison, everyone come here! I brought a new divine artifact, the Hellfire War Command. What a great god. Thank you for granting it to us all. Hanvu smiles and pulls out another item, saying, here's something else. He gives the extraordinary seed to a red dwarf. The dwarf is moved, eyes welling up, and kneels down. Hanvu continues, I'm giving you the extraordinary seed. From now on, you'll be called the Divine Envoy. I hope you become a renowned hero soon. Holding the Hellfire War Command, the Red Dwarves watch Hanvu fly away and cheer, long live the god. A moment later, Hanvu takes out the poison mist pearl, pondering, this poison pearl was chosen by teacher Dian Vun. I wonder what it does. As soon as he finishes, the system notification appears, leaving him stunned. Suddenly, his phone rings and he answers, hello, teacher. What do you need me for? Dian Vun hears the question, smiles, and pulls out a divine point card and an egg, saying, well, in today's competition when you and Lumac were dueling, I bet 5 divine points with teacher Lulak. And I won thanks to you. It's about today's competition, so I want to share. 1/5 is 150 million divine power on the divine point card, but the main thing is this demon egg. This is a war spoil I got from the outer realms, born from the demon insect king, refined with poison pearl secrets into a dead embryo. Even though it's dead, it produces 10 liters of demon embryo essence daily. The lowest level race can evolve into lower demon insects by consuming demon embryo essence. When you first enrolled, I promised to help you complete the life essence for the core affinity race. This is what I can do for you. Hanvu thinks to himself, everyone at school looks down on teacher, thinking the royal insects are trash, but if I find a way to change their life essence, the royal insects can evolve into demon insects. Though their potential isn't as high as natural elite beings like Tan Song's Thunderbird, it's enough to reach the level of common beings like goblins or dwarves. A moment later, Dian Vun adds, from these two you can choose one as your reward for winning. You can add the level 1 poison pearl to it. The result will surprise you. Hanvu nods gratefully. Thank you, teacher. I won't let you down. Suddenly, Hanvu remembers something and quickly asks, I have a question, teacher. Can you provide a large amount of meat? Can you provide a large amount of meat? Quality doesn't have to be great. The store prices are too high. Dian Vun replies seriously. If you're using it to feed the royal insects, don't go through the store. The prices are high and the effect is low. The principal recently acquired a demon abyss area full of flesh demon corpses. You can ask me about it. Hanvu is thrilled. Thank you so much, teacher. He hangs up. A while later, Hanvu walks with his arms crossed through the vast forest of his divine realm, thinking, the level 2 holy artifact's hunger is too intense. The current production in the divine realm can't satisfy the royal insect's hunger. I need to find a food source as soon as possible. After walking further, he decides to place the demon embryo egg here at the base of this tree. If I put the demon embryo egg here, it will quickly produce demon embryo essence. The royal insects will eat it and evolve soon. Time passes quickly. 2 days later, Hanvu stands in front of the demon embryo egg, observing, looks like there's demon embryo essence for the royal insects to eat now. I'm excited for the results. A moment later, the demon embryo egg starts leaking fluid. Hanvu wonders. It's been 2 days. How much longer? Suddenly, he exclaims in surprise, it's here. Second, as the demon insects hatch, the system announces, Race, demon, insect common level, savage talent, faith level as believer lifespan, 200 days. Hanvu looks at the announcement thrilled. Even though it's a common race, its strength is over 100 times that of royal insects. But there's no breeding info. Each demon insect needs demon embryo essence daily to evolve. In no time, the demon insect doubles in size, astonishing Hanvu, already doubled in size. The gluttony rule works for it too. The demon insect has doubled in size, astonishing Hanvu, so it won't be long before it levels up to elite. Then Hanvu reaches for the poison mist pearl which sparkles high above, emitting dazzling lights, and places it in the divine realm's core. Immediately, the demon insect swells, even more surprising him. Is this the elite lifeform poison mist demon insect? But at the same time, in a desolate wasteland filled with dust, the principal stands worried, muttering, "How can I fix this?" In front of him is a scene of ruins with countless skeletons piled up like remnants of a fierce war. So many broken bones and flesh demon corpses. How do I handle this? Even if I seal the corpses in spirit cards, the consumption will make them explode and cause more pollution. Just then, Dien Vun calls, piquing the principal's curiosity. "Teacher Dien, why are you calling me?" After answering, Dien Vun scratches his head awkwardly. "Principal, I'm calling for a video to ask. Can you provide flesh demon corpses? One of my students wants to buy some." The principal is surprised and asks, "What does your student want with flesh demon corpses?" Dien Vun hesitates a bit and replies, he's planning to use them to feed his core affinity race. His core affinity race is royal insects, and they ate flesh demon corpses in the preliminary evaluation without any bad reactions. Hearing this, the principal is stunned, feeling a bit suspicious. Isn't this student the little genius who faced off against the demigod? A few days ago, I never thought those tiny royal insects could be so useful. Then he pulls a shimmering card from his sleeve and hands it to Dien Vun. This has 100,000 flesh demon corpses. Give it to him first. But shortly after, the principal becomes confused, saying in surprise, "That student already ate all the flesh demon corpses from yesterday. That student already ate all the flesh demon corpses from yesterday. He's asking if we can supply more long-term." The principal shakes his head in disbelief. What? Eaten them all in one day and wants long-term supply. Seeing the other's surprised expression, he feels a bit embarrassed, scratches his head, and explains, "I think this idea is a bit over the top, so let's take it slow." He clears his throat to calm down. Flesh demon corpses are plentiful, but long-term supply can't be free. How about this 100 corpses for 1 divine power, starting from 10,000 divine power? Just 5 minutes later, Dien Vun calls back excited, "Principal student Hanvu says it's fine. He wants to buy 100 million divine power worth first." A while later, Hanvu stands surrounded by flying royal insects. The air seems to freeze. The time is ripe. Suddenly, the main character unleashes energy, creating a massive vortex that sucks in the royal insects. In an instant, the system shows options. 1 is the giant male warrior, an extraordinary life form. 2 is level 3 skill stone poison burst technique. After loading the divine realm core, the 2 races can learn basic poison burst or give it to heroic life forms. 3 is decomposition machine decomposes matter to increase pure energy. Hanvu observes his eyes widening. No wonder it's worth 12 billion elite royal insect life forms. The 5 giant warriors in option 1 are all extraordinary life forms and famous for their destructive power. Selling 1 giant warrior would at least get 10,000 divine power, but when he reads option 2, he's shocked. Stay calm, stay calm. Checking option 2, level 3. Poison burst technique with the poison mist pearls demon insect, its top tier. However, he frowns. My divine realm core is only level 3. After loading the gluttony law and poison pearl, there's no room for level 3 poison burst. After thinking, Hanvu decides, that's it. He chooses option 3. The decomposition machine can decompose matter into energy crystals. Energy crystals are food for magic races and extremely valuable. This is a sustainable way to get rich. Right away, a massive decomposition machine appears in front of Hanvu, making him marvel. That's huge. The main character throws in a few iron ores to test. Let's try with these iron ores. A while later, the 3 iron ores come out shiny and glowing. Hanvu picks one up, exclaiming, "Oh, iron crystals." They can be used as food for certain races or as forging material. Each is worth 5 divine power points. Not bad, not bad. This is a long-term moneymaker. At the same time, a voice from the dwarves echoes, startling Hanvu. Great God, while we were mining, we were attacked by undead. You're injured. Chief Thantri is fighting the undead. Please grant your blessing to save the red dwarf race. That's the believer's call from the temple. Hanvu frowns. How are there undead in my divine realm? Without another word, he extends his vision far out. Before Hanvu's eyes, Thantri faces off against an undead. The next second, Thantri swings his hammer, but the undead dodges. Thantri strikes again, but the opponent easily evades. Seeing this, Hanvu smiles not bad. He orders system investigate the info, but the screen shows investigation failed. The small skeleton isn't your believer, and you don't have the investigation skill to get his info. Hanvu is surprised, but soon he shouts, Tramtik Kim Fong, go fight! Instantly, Kim Fong appears before the small skeleton and kneels in readiness. In a flash, Kim Fong charges and slashes at the small skeleton's neck. The skeleton shatters into pieces, but then demon energy envelops it. The demon energy condenses, reconnecting the bones perfectly. Now Hanvu's illusion appears before the small skeleton. He crosses his arms and says sternly, Submit to me and you'll have a new life. But the small skeleton ignores him and strikes through Hanvu's illusion. However, his divine illusion takes no damage and he calmly continues childish. If you can't break the divine realm, my illusion will last forever. Keep fighting until it submits. Hearing the order, Thantri and Kim Fong stand before the small skeleton full of killing intent. After being suppressed by the two, the small skeleton fears and kneels, I submit to the god. Hanvu places his hand on its head, checking the info. Not bad, not bad. Now I can get your info. A moment later, the system displays race name, skeleton tribe level, undead lord, talent, crystal, bone regeneration. At the same time in class, the teacher speaks sternly. Have you students prepared for the new challenge? Dien Vun stands at the podium, his voice full of authority. The next exam is the real key to creating gaps between you all. It can even affect which university you get into. After hearing Dien Vun's words, Hanvu thinks university. My grandfather's wish was for me to go to the Imperial Academy in the Lochnan Star Sea to find my missing parents. And the Imperial Academy is one of the top universities in the Divine Realm civilization. A moment later, Dien Vun continues, his voice booming. Next, you'll be teleported to Demon Realm C7932. The exam details will be sent via email after you arrive. You have 1 hour to prepare. Hearing this, the students buzz with excitement. Hulung smirks, smiling smugly. This is all set up for me, right? My era is finally coming. Hanvu, let's see how cocky you can be. At the same time, an unknown number calls Hulung, surprising him. After answering, Lochteen's voice comes through. Hulung, it's me. Hulung quickly replies, Teacher Lochteen, what do you need? Lochteen says, I need you to help me deal with someone, Hanvu. Hulung sneers. Why not just say the word? I'd deal with him anyway. Teacher Lochteen is pleased. Point to an item on the system board. You're the student I value. You help me out and I won't forget it. This is my sponsorship. Take it, it'll help in the exam. Hulung looks at the screen and sees an evil dragon card, exclaiming, An extraordinary life form, evil dragon. This is a powerful race on par with heroic life forms. At the same time, in Demon Abyss Dimension, C793826, a remote and eerie place with towering mountains, the system announces exam requirement. Each student has one chance to embody as a race. If the embodied race dies, the student returns to normal. The true body dying means real death. Each day, each student can only summon a race once, limited to 100 at a time. A moment later, the system displays choose your embodied race. Embody as the Kim Fong race. 4 options appear. 1. Embody as royal insect. 2. Embody as red dwarf. 3. Embody as Kim Fong race. 4. Embody as skeleton lord. Hanvu ponders. Embodying as skeleton lord and undead type can avoid demon energy interference in the demon abyss. Let's go for it. Without hesitation, he selects option 4. Immediately, his body is enveloped in mysterious energy. Hanvu widens his eyes in shock as the energy fades. He's turned into a skeleton. Looking at his bony hands, he says, the demon abyss is truly a haven for undead and demons. Then Hanvu points forward and orders Gluttony Royal Insect 100 of them deploy. The royal insects fly out, but soon demon energy blocks them. Hanvu nods, as I thought demon energy is the bane of races. Besides assimilation, there's no other way. Little 1, little 2, little 3, it's up to you. As he speaks, he summons 3 special royal insects. Before him are layers of fog covering the bone demon fruit, creating a dark, cold scene. Hanvu points at the bone demon fruit and orders, pick 2 fruits. Suddenly, a group of grotesque monsters roars and charges like ferocious zombies. Seeing a skeleton with glowing red eyes coming at him, Hanvu gets into a fighting stance thinking, perfect to test this skeleton's attack and defense. After wiping out the skeletons and piling them up behind, Hanvu crosses his arms and scoffs, "Can't take a hit." A while later, he and the 3 royal insects harvest countless bone demon fruits. However, he muses, collecting bone demon fruits only gives 20 exam points. The 100-point task is to defeat a demigod boss, which I can't do. So let's win by quantity. Give me 2 bone demon fruits. A while later, Hanvu holds a stack of cards, smirking, "I've taken all the bone demon fruits here, but exam points only convert once." Heh. He sends a message to the class group, "Anyone need 100 bone demon fruits for the task? I'll trade or buy anything goes." A moment later, classmates and Dien Vun reply buzzing, "Is this even allowed? Is this cheating?" Another retorts, "What do you know? This is resource gathering." Another student excitedly says, "Han the Great, I want a share of bone demon fruits. I'll pay 50 divine power." The system warns immediately, only resources collected in this exam can be traded. First violation is a warning. 3 violations disqualify you. Hanvu strokes his chin, sighing, "I'm such a business genius. Now I control all the resources. Now I have all the leverage." On the other side, Hugh Long, with his demonic dragon head and wings, stands on a cliff surrounded by fierce wolves. He looks at the class group, muttering, "I was wondering how to find you and you show your location. This time you're done for." Meanwhile, Hanvu crosses his arms, looking at the system leaderboard, thinking, "As expected, my race is too weak. If I don't take on high-level tasks, I'll get overtaken. What now?" While racking his brain, a group of skeleton soldiers slowly approaches. Suddenly they stop and roar threateningly. Hanvu casually walks up, hands in pockets, asking, "Do you recognize me?" Seeing Hanvu, the skeleton soldiers all kneel. The system announces, "Army race bone soldiers, race bone tribe level, common undead talent, hard bones, faith level, devout believer." Hanvu is surprised. That's impressive. I got over 10 believers without lifting a finger. He orders sternly, "Rise, we're of the same race. Take me to your place." A while later, the skeleton soldiers kneel again, astonishing Hanvu. The system announces, "Army race bone knights, race bone tribe level extraordinary undead talent bone summoning." Hanvu is amazed at the big harvest of bone knights. Hanvu is amazed, what a big harvest. A bone knight on a wolf's back places his hand on his chest and says, "I was once a member of the 1st Legion. In the battle against the flesh demons, my team got separated from the main army. We had no choice but to station here fighting daily invasions from zombies and flesh ghosts. The number of soldiers under me keeps decreasing." Hanvu strokes his chin, thinking, "If you're my soldiers, I'll make you stronger. Looks like I can do this." A while later, his rank is still dropping. He crosses his arms and mutters, "Time's up." He gives the bone spirit stone to the bone knight, saying seriously, "I grant you the bone spirit stone. And equipment to divide among yourselves." 10 minutes later, Hanvu shouts to the fierce bone soldiers with glowing red eyes, "Target flesh demon nest advance." The group quickly heads to the nest. In a massive cave, Hanvu looks at the bone soldiers, estimating their nest has 8,000 to 10,000. Leading 1,000 in a frontal assault is tough. I need to play it smart. He orders, "You all go to the cave entrance and cause a ruckus." Instantly, a bone soldier boldly approaches the cave. The flesh demons see this and charge fiercely. But before they get far, they're stunned as countless bone soldiers emitting demon energy appear. 2 bone soldiers immediately gang up on a flesh demon, overpowering it. At the same time, Hanvu stands from afar, his eyes coldly watching. The bone soldiers and flesh demons are locked in fierce battle amid the dust. Great, the killed flesh demons can turn into this race's army, adding new members. That's unique. A moment later, Hanvu crosses his arms and counts the bone soldiers. Now bone soldiers exceed 7,000, but their nest only has 3,000 left. The opportunity is here. He points forward, his voice booming, "Full defense." Shortly after, a bone knight steps forward, respectfully hands over a shimmering spirit stone. "My lord, the mission is complete." Immediately, Hanvu's name on the system leaderboard skyrockets. At the same time, a wolf is sniffing around, tracking Hanvu. Its controller, Trung Hugh Lung, says sternly, "All right, where did that kid Hanvu run off to?" When he sees Hanvu's name climbing the leaderboard, he's shocked, gained 60 points. Looks like he took down a flesh demon nest. This guy is beyond my expectations, but it's just luck. You're finished. At the same time, an army enters a cave. Trung Hugh Lung sees the scene and is stunned. Hanvu is raising an army of bones in the dark temple to boost his score. Dream on Hellhound's attack. Hearing the order, the hellhounds roar and charge at Hanvu's group. Hanvu hears the noise and turns around immediately. The hounds are charging ferociously, but the bone soldiers quickly detect the threat and rush to confront them, protecting their lord. In a flash, 3 ferocious hellhounds lunge at the bone soldiers. Trung Hyulung looks at the massive number of bone soldiers and can't hide his shock. On the second day of the Abyss descent, Hanvu has gathered such a force. If I wait a few more days, who can stop him? Today I have to end him. With that, Trung Hyulung transforms into a massive, fierce dragon and roars. He charges and bites the bone knight, making it scream in pain. Seeing this, Hanvu quickly says, Trung Hyulung, we have no beef. Why are you attacking my race? In response, Trung Hyulung roars angrily, just because I don't like you. So die. He unleashes energy, blasting Hanvu away. The bone soldiers gape in shock. Trung Hyulung spreads his wings, soaring into the air, creating fierce winds. A ragtag group, no need to kill them all. The bone soldiers look up and roar in challenge. At the same time, Hanvu places his hand on his chest, relieved. Good thing the skeleton lord embodiment can revive. He orders immediately, don't just stand there, lead all forces and get out of here. Then he glares coldly at Trung Hyulung. Trung Hyulung, next time we meet, it's your end. On the other side, Trung Hyulung checks the leaderboard and doesn't see Hanvu's name withdrawn. He strokes his chin, suspicious, but his eyes widen in shock when he sees Hanvu's name still on the board. He roars in anger, damn it, Hanvu faked his death! Furious, Trung Hyulung takes to the air again. Even if it takes time, I'll hunt you down. But when he leads the hellhounds to a cave, it's empty. He shouts, search for me within 100 miles, don't miss any skeletons. On Hanvu's side, he pulls out a glowing bone crystal and says seriously, I grant you the bone crystal. After Trung Hyulung's sneak attack, only over 5,000 bone soldiers remain. Looks like I still need to develop more. In a flash, the bone soldiers are enveloped in energy, their strength growing. Hanvu opens the leaderboard and checks, strength still isn't enough. To get into the Imperial Academy, I need breakthrough scores. After reading the task on the system board, he muses, the Abyss Demon is a sneaky, evil native creature, but with average strength. This trivial thing gives 80 exam points, so there must be over 100,000 of them. I can use the Abyss Demons to create a large-scale bone soldier army. After calculating, Hanvu crosses his arms and orders, march out, target the Abyss Demon tribe. A while later in the teacher's meeting room, they're discussing excitedly. One teacher says, Huang Fi from my class built a demonized goblin battalion over 10,000 strong. He's at 3,200 exam points, securing first place. Another teacher adds, Lu Mac from my class is also good at 3 or 10 exam points, currently second. Locusts interrupts, mocking, I told you before that kid Hanvu at the top is just clever. In my class, he was always weak, but some blind teacher treated him like a treasure. Teacher Lu retorts sternly, Teacher Locusts, mind your position. As a teacher, at least, speak properly. Locusts snaps back angrily, a mad teacher. Am I wrong? That kid Hanvu is useless. No matter how many resources, he's just mud that won't stick. Dianvun hears this and turns angrily, then let's bet. I bet the student who wins is Hanvu? What do you want to bet? I'll bet 10 divine points. Do you dare? Locusts clenches his fist and replies loudly, I don't have 10 divine points, but I have a divine roll. I'll bet my level B fate roll against you. He points to himself confidently. So if Hanvu scores over 80 task points from the start, that's a win. The 4 teachers think 80 points is really tough, especially for high school students, but success would attract top schools' attention. Even without high scores, they'd have a spot in good schools. At the same time, at position C79 BA826, the Abyss Demon Camp, once million strong, now has less than 100,000. Hanvu and the Bone Soldiers stand on high ground observing, my power isn't bad. The Bone Soldiers have grown to 900,000. The time is ripe. He waves his hand and orders attack. Before the 2 Abyss Demons can react, the Bone Knights charge and knock them away. It roars threateningly. Are the Abyss Demons still not surrendering? A moment later, Hanvu raises a skull flag high, clenches his fist, and shouts, Victory! The Bone Soldiers immediately raise their hands, channeling dense demon energy into the Abyss Demons. In a flash, the demon energy erodes their flesh, leaving only skeletons. Right away, the skeletons rise in new forms, emitting intense demon energy. The system announces, race name reviving skeleton race, skeleton level extraordinary undead talent, hard bones revival. Seeing the info, Hanvu gapes in shock. What? A reviving skeleton is even stronger than a bone knight. In a flash, a reviving skeleton extends its hand, channeling demon energy into another skeleton, quickly reassembling it. In an instant, a new reviving skeleton is created. Second Hulong and the lion-headed one gape in panic. If the killed ones turn into bone soldiers like this, how can we fight? Hanvu observes his army of bone soldiers and reviving skeletons. Standing high, Hanvu observes his army of bone soldiers and reviving skeletons, smiling. That's clever. This army fears no losses. A bone knight kneels and respectfully offers an item. At the same time, a bone knight kneels and respectfully offers an item, boss the spoils. After reading the system info, Hanvu widens his eyes. The Abyss Origin can activate and enhance life. Then I can try it on the royal insects. With 1,000,000 soldiers like this, what do I have to fear from Trung Hulong? Time to turn in the task. Hanvu carefully checks the next task on the system board, 70 points for wiping out the native demon Abyss race. Without hesitation, he shouts, "Full army, move out!" At the same time, a teacher next to Dean Vun stares at the system board and says, "In just 3 short days, Hanvu went from last to 4th. Teacher Dean, you have a gem of a student." Black Teen crosses his arms and retorts, "So what if he's 4th? He's not 1st. But before he finishes, announcements ring out to the teachers. Top University War Academy sends an invitation. After the exam, they want to interview student Hanvu. Top University Hidden Dragon Academy sends an invitation. After the exam, they want to interview student Hanvu. Lactean hears this and protests loudly. Director Hua, I object. Why are you only announcing invitations for Hanvu and not for other students? There are still many invitations. But when he sees the changing leaderboard, he's shocked. How is that possible? Hanvu was clearly 4th before. How did he pass 3 people? After hearing Director Hua's explanation, Lactean smirks maliciously. Whoever invites him, I don't care. As tasks dwindle, as long as he doesn't take first, I win. He taps his device and contacts Hulong. Only 3 tasks left in Dianvun's exam. Hulong pushed through the tasks. Don't let Hanvu snatch it. Hulong replies determinedly, Understood, I'll complete the 90-point task before Hanvu. At the same time, Hanvu stands high, observing the system board. Uncompleted tasks, 100 points to slay the dark goblin demigod, 90 points to wipe out the bull demon tribe, 80 points to clear the flesh demon forest. He muses, current total is 3,483rd place. Only 130 points from first. If I complete 2 more, that's enough. With 2 million bone soldiers, 2 heroic life forms, and 1,890 extraordinary life forms, I'll take out the bull demon tribe first. At the bull demon tribe, massive explosions echo. The lion-headed one clutches his wound, roaring angrily, Damn, that's insane! You're going all out. You don't want Hanvu to take first, right? Hulong replies coldly, Talk less. Why team up with you otherwise? It's just for my own survival. As they're talking, a bull demon with red eyes charges, raising its weapon and roaring fiercely. After a fierce fight, Hulong and the lion-headed one are beaten badly by the massive bull demon in panic. No, we're losing. If we keep this up, the whole tribe is done. Retreat. They think at this exam level, even teaming up, they can't win. Let alone Hanvu, but unexpectedly. Thousands of bone soldiers with glowing red eyes emitting demon energy slowly advance. Hulong and the lion-headed one are terrified, bad luck running into these undead plagues. The bone soldiers swarm the bull demon, overwhelming it. Seeing the two trying to flee, Hanvu points and orders, trying to leave. Not that easy. The bone giant charges immediately. A massive bone giant appears behind another bone soldier, eyes flowing with energy, roaring threateningly. It smashes down like thunder dust everywhere. At the same time, the reviving skeleton emitting demon energy chants a spell. As the spell ends, a monster emitting demon energy forms into a new skeleton. Second Hulong and the lion-headed one gape in panic. If the killed ones turn into bone soldiers like this, how can we fight? Run, forget the race. But before they get far, both are blocked by a bone soldier. Almost there, no running. Hanvu stands on the bone soldier's back, smiling. Trung Hulong Tu Duan, how's it going? Tu Duan panics and asks, Hanvu isn't your race royal insects. But Hanvu doesn't care, ordering the bone soldier to raise its massive foot toward Hulong. Trung Hulong hears a farewell gift. Hulong panicked and shouted, No, don't! But in an instant, the giant foot stomped down, killing him instantly. Tu Duan was stunned, then broke into a cold sweat in fear and quickly pleaded, Sorry, Hanvu, we don't have any serious conflict, right? I sincerely apologize, Hanvu replies coldly. What's the point of forgiving you? I sincerely apologize. Hearing that Hanvu said coldly, What's the point of forgiving you? Hanvu nods, Deal, you can go. Tu Duan joyfully runs away. A while later, Han Vu's group wipes out countless bull demons, piling them up. The surviving ones kneel in fear. We surrender. We pledge loyalty to you. The system announces the task success, adding 90 points. Looking at the system board with 2 tasks left. Han Vu muses, still 2 tasks. Which one? Suddenly the screen shows 9-point task. Han Vu mutters in surprise, only 9 points. Wait, is that the last task? He carefully reads the content on the system board and says, is it her? Zdoan tears up. I'll give you half of my treasures, just spare me. It's not that surprising. To take first place, there's only one final task: eliminate the Dark Goblin demigod. Han Yu strokes his chin thoughtfully. This task is truly challenging, but if I want the Capital Academy to notice me, I have to claim the top spot. After thinking it over, he flies up and commands loudly, full army advance, target the Dark Goblin's lair. At the same time, in the Grand School, a teacher announces, now 11 classes have completed the exam, only 3 students from our class left. What are you all planning to do next? Lactine replied mockingly, what's the big mystery? It's just the semi-divine mission. Do they dare to take it on? If they fail, Class 11 will lose everything. No one's ever tried this mission, and history shows no one succeeded. Dien Vun stepped forward, staring straight at Lactine. You're spot on. Han Vu and Tan Sang are challenging this mission. We'll see how it turns out. I'm really confident in my students. Over there, Tan Sang shouted orders, Thunder Falcon, take off and attack right away. A flock of Thunder Falcons unleashed countless bolts of golden lightning down on the Dark Goblin horde. As the lightning hit them, they screamed in pain, their bodies burning up. The Dark Goblin leader angrily raised its hand, releasing dark energy. You have a death wish! It created an earth shield to block the lightning. How dare you destroy my tribe and kill my people? I curse you to die in pieces. Tan Sang, in the form of a Thunder Falcon, panicked. This is bad. Before she could react, an energy pillar struck her hard, leaving her badly injured and falling freely. But Tan Sang quickly regained her senses and burst out with intense energy. Her whole body glowed with lightning, her eyes fixed on the Dark Goblins. She formed a massive energy sphere, crackling with electricity, and hurled it at the Earth Shield. At the same time, she ordered, all Thunder Falcons attack together. Energy spheres kept hitting the shield, cracking it wide open. In an instant, the shield shattered, sending smoke and dust everywhere. Tan Sang cheered, we did it. But as the smoke cleared, the Dark Goblin leader appeared with rough skin and red eyes, ordering, Swamp Demon Goblins, enter the battle. Tan Sang panicked. This guy's way too big. The lightning isn't hurting it. If we drag this out, we're done for. Just then, Han Vu called. Tan Sang asked suspiciously, Han Vu, why do you always call at the worst times? But she answered anyway. Han Vu saw her beat-up form and teased, where are you anyway? That look is pretty unique. Tan Sang snapped back, I don't need your compliments. He got serious. Want to team up? If not, your Thunder Falcons will be wiped out in under 10 minutes. Tan Sang thought about refusing but changed her mind. Fine. If not, your Thunder Falcons will be wiped out in under 10 minutes. Just so we're clear, if we win, I get the Divine Core from the Dark Goblins. The rest is yours. Han Vu agreed. Tan Sang ordered, quick, send your location so my Thunder Falcons can pick up your elite squad. Han Vu replied, I'm in the swamp by the crevice. How am I supposed to get there to fight? He got the location. Tan Sang yelled, Thunder Falcon Legion target the swamp, move out. Han Vu saw the Thunder Falcons arriving and was amazed. That was fast. He waved, over here, over here. Hop on a Thunder Falcon. He ordered, move out. At the same time, he commanded his skeleton troops, Skeleton Legion attack. In no time, the Thunder Falcons carried the skeleton troops and flew in, unleashing lightning on the Dark Goblins. A Dark Goblin charged at them, striking the skeleton troops repeatedly, leaving them unable to fight back. Han Vu, riding a Thunder Falcon, looked at the pile of bones on the ground and muttered, each skeleton troop is just a level 5 bone pile, one hit and they're shattered. Now it's just a mess of bones. Sensing the opportunity, he shouted, Bone Golem, it's your time, enter the battle. As soon as he spoke, the Bone Golem stood on the skull pile, radiating dark energy. It used dark energy to make the bone fragments fly into the air. In moments, a massive armored skeleton warrior shrouded in dark energy was formed. The Dark Goblins sat in a circle, casting spells that made furious energy erupt. But before they could finish, the massive skeleton stomped them repeatedly, kicking up smoke and dust. Han Vu ordered, Bone Servant and Bull Demon Mages attack. The two bull demons and bone servant charged in at terrifying speed. The bull demon leaped up, smashing a huge pillar down on the dark goblins. The bone servant unleashed dark energy and chanted, "Excellent." Following Hanvu's command, the dead dark goblins immediately emitted dark energy, turning into skeletons. The others witnessed this and panicked, not daring to advance. The skeleton troops seized the chance, teaming up with the Thunder Falcons to unleash thousands of lightning bolts, scattering the dark goblins. The dark goblin leader saw this and roared in fury, "I really underestimated you all!" Looks like I have to get serious. It cast a spell summoning dark clouds that blocked out the light. "I really underestimated you all." Hanvu watched as the spell wiped out his skeleton troops and felt a wave of fear. What a terrifying move. The life force of the skeletons is completely gone. What else can I do? I've brought all my tribe's warriors here. Are we going to lose? Just as he panicked, his tribe's inner voice rang out. "Divine One, I volunteer to fight." "Me too." Hanvu was thrilled, clenching his fist. "Sword Edge and Red Stream right on time." He smirked with a smug grin. "A new day is here. Maybe I can summon more of the tribe." Then Hanvu's divine realm gate opened, releasing fierce bolts of lightning. Sword Edge stepped out of the gate with 4 arms holding swords, looking majestic. Right away, Sword Edge and Red Stream charged at the dark goblins at breakneck speed. At the same time, thousands of golden bugs telepathically said, "Divine One, we're ready, please sacrifice us." Hanvu was stunned, but quickly composed himself, bursting with energy to create a vortex that sucked in the golden bugs, beginning the sacrifice. In moments, the system showed rewards that amazed him. This sacrifice reward is amazing. Is heaven on my side? The screen displayed an image of a torch and text. High-key holy fire, a special artifact that repels darkness, removes negative states, and boosts energy for the tribe. Hanvu raised the blazing high-key holy fire high, radiating bright light, and chanted, "Holy fire, light, banish the darkness." The dark goblins hesitated, not daring to approach. Hanvu smirked. "Time to counterattack." The dark goblin leader panicked. "How is this possible? A divine being that can dispel my dark magic. No way!" The light from high-key holy fire suppressed their dark energy. Hanvu flew toward the swamp demon flower, radiating thick, dark energy. Looks like Tan Sang got swallowed by it. He summoned Sword Edge and Red Stream from the energy vortex and ordered, "Kill the swamp demon flower." Both charged in delivering devastating blows. The swamp demon flower weakened. Tan Sang burst through its belly, creating a huge hole, and flew out. Without stopping, she gathered energy, forming a powerful lightning sphere, and threw it at the swamp demon flower. The explosion was massive, sending smoke and dust everywhere. Tan Sang led the Thunder Falcons into Hanvu's Red Stream, attacking and causing an earth-shattering explosion. The skeleton troops used their massive bodies to stomp the dark goblins like ants. The leader burst from the smoke, yelling, "Don't get cocky!" But before it could do anything, Hanvu controlled a Thunder Falcon to fly over, raising high-key holy fire high. Tan Sang shot lightning bolts, shocking the leader down in a puff of black smoke. She turned to Hanvu and said, "Now it's your turn. Per our deal, I just need the divine core. The rest is yours." The leader begged, "Spare me, I'll give you everything in exchange for my life." Hanvu crossed his arms coldly, replying, "Once you're dead, it's all mine anyway." Sword Edge delivered the finishing blow. A while later, Hanvu and Tan Sang stood before a mountain of gold, silver, and jewels. Tan Sang said, "Per our deal, the spoils are yours." "Aren't you taking anything?" Hanvu rummaged through the gold, pulled out a crown, and placed it on her head. "Call it interest." Tan Sang was pleased, but played it cool. "Humph, it's all right, I'll take it reluctantly." Back in reality, Dien Van told Hanvu, "Hanvu, you did great. The school leaders and recruitment staff want to meet you. Keep those skull soldiers in check and head back." He warned, "Later you two don't say anything reckless. Those teachers are true gods." The door opened, revealing the school leaders and recruitment staff with serious faces. Hanvu felt uneasy. "I wonder if they've figured out my unique Divine One talent and life sacrifice ability." A teacher stroked his chin and asked sternly, "Tan Sang, your family is a true god clan with plenty of resources. You've got the divine core planning to create a Lord life form, right? How much spiritual value do you have now?" Another teacher was shocked. "Tan Sang is preparing to nurture a Lord life form before even reaching semi-god. The success rate is high." He added, We've been gods for so long, but no one succeeded in nurturing a Lord life form. Tansang replied, yes, I have 4 points of spiritual value. After nurturing the Lord life form, you can apply for provisional student status and experience university life. Tansang said seriously, thank you, teacher. Then it was Han Vu's turn. The teacher asked sternly, Han Vu, we looked at your file. Your core race is golden bugs, right? Han Vu confirmed, that's right. He marked 10 in the core race box, then asked, your divine value is 1 point right. That's correct. He faintly marked the divine value box, then continued. How did you get the Sword Edge hero race in your divine realm and the Skeleton Lord incarnation in this exam? Tianwen checks the system leaderboard. Second place is Qin Sang with 3,580 points. Third is Han Yu with 3,570 points. And Ziduan 7th with 3,320 points. Han Yu thinks to himself, looks like they don't know my abilities. Why reveal them? He asks. Can I skip answering this question? If you want to get into BA Academy, keep up the excellence. See you at the college entrance exam. The head teacher Shu regrets Han Yu's excellence, but BA recruitment doesn't recognize it. What a shame. Han Yu smirks confidently. I get it. I'll keep pushing. See you at the college entrance exam. The teacher waved dismissively. Hope your wish comes true. At the same time, Dianvan gently placed his hand on the male lead's shoulder, comforting him. Manhwa University is one of the top schools recognized worldwide. Not getting in is understandable, but don't worry. There are still plenty of top universities ready to welcome you as a provisional student. Teacher Dianwell, I only want to get into Capital University. As the male lead stepped out the door, Tansang crossed her arms with a sharp gaze and asked, after I successfully nurture the Lord life form, I'll become a provisional student at a top university. The resources there are perfect for my future growth. You want to go to Capital University? Faced with her challenging question, Han Vu replied seriously, I have to get into Capital University. In his mind, he thought, the journey to the chaotic Star Sea and Capital University isn't just a dream, it's my chance to find clues about my parents, my biggest goal. Hearing that, Tansang's cheeks flushed slightly and she smiled. Then I'll choose Capital University as a provisional student too. I'll access tons of valuable resources to level up quickly, so you better hurry. Since I'm not officially a Capital University student yet, if you want to be my servant, there's still time. At her teasing words, Han Vu turned away calmly but firmly, saying, I've got plenty of resources on my own. Why would I be a servant? I need to prepare for this harvest, so I'll head out. Bye for now. After Han Vu left, Tansang thought to herself with a slight smile, he's as stubborn as his skeletons, but kinda cute. The scene shifted to the vast divine realm, where Han Vu, our male lead, stood in the beautiful energy-filled space. He held the divine card, absorbing the surrounding energy streams. Immediately, the system displayed name Han Vu, level life divine, talent heaven's chosen death, ability growth speed life sacrifice, divine spiritual power 500,000, faith power 7,903, tribe core golden bugs, extraordinary life forms 219, elite life forms 49, 080,000, elite life forms 49, 080,000. Seeing this info, Han Vu couldn't hide his excitement, muttering, with new members I can upgrade and strategize for my tribe. But the most important thing is to build a transition path for the golden bugs. As he finished speaking, Han Vu released massive energy waves and declared, First path, use the Abyss origin to build the Abyss path. Instantly, the energy spread. It enveloped the golden bugs flying in the air. They gained enhanced resistance. Their lives became tougher, and their ability to withstand magic attacks improved. From now on, you'll be Abyss bugs evolved for defense. Next, he explained the second path using the Dark Goblins to build the Dark Curse path. This allows the tribe to hide while flying and cause side effects on enemies. This is the assassination path called Dark Curse bugs. Just then, a tribe member telepathically said, voice full of worry, Divine One, please forgive us. While processing ore, we accidentally processed the sacred staff you gave us. Please punish us. Hearing this, Han Vu was startled and quickly flew to the site. Arriving Shen Qi. The culprit knelt, trembling hands clasped, begging the Divine One. It was me who foolishly processed the sacred item. Please forgive me. Though a bit angry, Hanvu stayed calm. He helped Shenqi up and gently advised, remember this lesson. From now on, be more careful with your work. Then Hanvu looked at the processing machine radiating intense heat. A moment later, the system showed Fire Star Stone X2, Gold Star Block X1. Sacred item materials can be used for upgrades or repairs. Seeing this, Hanvu exclaimed in surprise, repair sacred items. My law of gluttony is broken. Could it be fixed? Hesitating, he fused the law of gluttony with the sacred materials. Fierce energy erupted, and in an instant they transformed into a complete artifact. The system continued. After common life forms absorb energy over 999 times, their bodies can evolve into elite life forms. Hanvu was surprised. It used to be 1,000 times. Now it's down. If I have enough sacred materials, I can fully repair the law of gluttony. But sacred materials only come from sacred items. Where am I going to find that many sacred items now? Just then, Hanvu opened the system board and scrolled through a message from 3 people. Please help us. I have a sacred artifact that's a weapon, but it got damaged during use. Now I want to find someone in the Divine Realm civilization to fix it. It's a shame to just throw it away. Hanvu stroked his chin, thinking, repairing a sacred artifact and it's a weapon. Could sacred materials work? After thinking, he drafted a message and sent it. In less than 3 seconds, the other person called back, surprising Hanvu. That was fast. The person got straight to the point. Can you really fix my weapon? I've posted about this for so long without any leads. Might as well try, it won't hurt. If you trust me, send over some sacred items to check. Okay. Hanvu calmly replied, I've downloaded the Divine Realm Anti-Fraud Center app, so don't try to scam me. What level of sacred item do you need? If it's under level 4, I can send it right away. Anything above it might take time. He held up a finger, smirking confidently. Level 1 is enough. As soon as he spoke, the other person sent a huge package as big as an elephant. Hanvu plopped down in shock. Whoa, did you have to send it that fast? After checking, he was stunned. There are over 100 sacred items here. Should I just take the stuff and run? But thinking about the Divine Realm Anti-Fraud Center, he felt uneasy. That name alone is intimidating. A moment later, the male lead carefully poured the materials into the processing machine. Soon the machine roared, emitting scorching heat like the sun. After some time, Hanvu finished the repair. The other person's sacred materials piled up into a massive, glittering heap. Without hesitation, he started sending the materials back, but quietly thought, I'll pocket a few pieces. Probably no one will notice. Then Hanvu hit the close button on the system board. As soon as the package was received, Yuanzhong called the male lead, excited. Master, you're like my reborn parents. I'm Yuanzhong and I beg you to help me. Hearing that, Hanvu chuckled awkwardly. You're too kind. My greatest joy is helping others. At the same time, Dianvan was meditating, absorbing the surrounding energy into his necklace. In his memories, he recalled someone at the school saying, the level 3 healing godhood is yours now. After giving the healing godhood, Lochthen gritted his teeth and said, Teacher Dian, the road ahead is long. We have to watch our step as we go. Lost in thought, Dianvan suddenly received a call from Hanvu, startling him. Answering, he asked sternly, Hanvu, what do you need from me? Teacher, I'm not calling about anything huge. I just wanted to ask if you know how to get high-level stone core resources to upgrade the Divine Realm. I searched online but found nothing. To that question, Dianvan happily replied, rare resources like divine consciousness, divine value, or heart shard can't be sold publicly. As soon as they're listed, big corporations snap them up. We don't stand a chance. But if you help me beat Locusts, I'll share the resources I've collected. There's another way. I once encountered a case where the Divine Realm Heart was too low level. Even with good sacred items, it couldn't be loaded. Luckily, a senior I know well introduced me to a competition called Blood Arena. The winner of each match gets a heart shard as a reward. Hanvu, if you battle other Divine Realm citizens, even races from different civilizations, your tribe could suffer heavy losses. But if you win, the reward is a Divine Realm heart shard. Dare you join this level of competition? After hearing that, Hanvu crossed his arms confidently, saying, No problem, teacher. I'm short on a lot of things, but never on tribe members. Time flew by like dogs chasing in the field. The next day, at the Grand Blood Arena, Hanvu and Dianvan entered, amazing the crowd. This place is massive. Dianvan whispered, This mask can hide your identity and prevent semi-gods from investigating. After all, this is outer territory. We need to be careful. The receptionist saw them and quickly handed over a form. First, fill out your info here. As Han Vu carefully filled it out, Dien Van crossed his arms and explained, the matches here are divided into 3 levels based on opponent strength, divine being matches, semi-god matches, and true god matches. Unless requested, matches between levels won't happen. Also, matches have no limit on tribe numbers. To surrender, over 50% of your tribe must be dead. For stubborn opponents, it could reach 100%. After filling out the info, the system suddenly displayed a message surprising Han Vu. That was fast. Right after, the system teleported him elsewhere, leaving him startled. What's going on? In moments, Han Vu landed safely from the energy vortex in the air. At the same time, someone waiting there said, Kid, I can't gauge you, but I bet you're a newbie. He, with buck teeth like a rat, patted his chest and boasted, Don't worry, Lord Rat loves taking care of newcomers. Yes, this match will end quickly. The audience saw this and murmured worried for Han Vu. This kid looks clueless, no experience at all. Too bad his first time is against that ruthless rat. A greenhouse flower needs to be beaten a few times to know how tough the world is. Hearing that, Han Vu frowned, thinking, my first opponent is this rat. From what I hear, he's ruthless. Just then, the system announced, Contestants, please release your tribes. The match starts in 3 minutes. The rat immediately used energy to open a gate, releasing his fierce rats. He sneered, Kid, you've probably never seen this many tribes. Scared yet? If so, give up. Once Lord Rat wipes out your tribe, I'll let you go. Han Vu wasn't intimidated and released thousands of golden bugs. He replied, Comparing numbers with me. The rat looked and scoffed. Your core tribe is just bugs. Guaranteed the match will end fast. What a shame. Don't worry, Lord Rat keeps his word. The match will end fast. As the announcement started, both sides were fired up. The rats pulled out crossbows, aiming straight at Han Vu's group. The rat yelled, Rat brothers, ready the arrows. As he finished, thousands of arrows flew toward Han Vu. He quickly ordered, Abyss bugs, defend now. The Abyss bugs immediately formed a solid wall, blocking all the arrows. The rat screamed, Don't stop, keep shooting. Kill them. Han Vu calmly observed and ordered, Dark curse bugs, strike them now. Instantly, a dark curse bug charged at the rats, its body radiating energy, releasing dark curses on the opponents. Once the rats were weakened by the curse effect, Han Vu ordered, Heavenly demon bugs attack. Countless heavenly demon bugs with sharp stingers swarmed and firing poisonous stingers like rain. The rats resisted in vain. The survival ratio on the big screen kept changing. The audience exclaimed in shock, That's strong, totally crushing them. Realizing the disadvantage, the rat panicked and raised his hand to surrender. Impossible, absolutely not. Stop fighting, we give up, we surrender. After his yell, the arena fell silent. A moment later, a divine realm heart shard appeared on the pile of stinking rat corpses. It floated toward Han Vu, glowing brightly, leaving him stunned. When he touched it, he felt a familiar power like his life sacrifice ability. The system announced, Match over, preparing to teleport back to the backstage area. Back in the backstage, Han Vu put on his mask. Dien Van placed his hand on his shoulder and praised, Han Vu, you did awesome. A match that easy win earned me so much divine power. Say, your tribe didn't lose many. Want to fight the second match? If you win the heart shard, you'll get will be a bit more than this one. Han Vu smiled confidently. Then I'll keep going. My tribe needs the combat experience after a long time. Han Vu kept winning match after match. He opened the system board and sighed in relief. We won. Even though I lost 100 million heavenly demon bugs, 89 straight wins brought in a huge heart shard. This shard is already level 7. He gazed into the distance, pondering, level 8 upgrades are getting harder, needing more shards than all previous levels combined. How much bigger will the rewards be compared to current wins? Dien Van replied, You could say if you fight a semi-god and win the spoils will be 10 times what you've got from 90 straight wins. That means you'll get 90 common heart shards. After hearing Dien Van's words, Han Vu pondered for a while. Then he decisively submitted the cross-level match registration to the receptionist. The receptionist saw it and quickly said, Have you really thought this through? This is a cross-level challenge. Han Vu replied, It's fine, I'm sure. Just then, from the blood arena, a voice echoed through the crowd. I've heard about this kid's bugs. He's only been in the arena for less than 30 days. and in the divine being category, he's dominating unbeatable. This time, a semi-god needs to teach him some manners. Another guy turned and smirked. Semi-gods use high-level divine realm hearts can bring superior sacred items. Plus, they have godhoods and can use pure techniques. Who gave those bugs the guts? It's probably just the kid being overconfident. On this side, Dien Vun couldn't hide his worry and turned to Han Vu. Kid, this is a big gamble. No one believes in you. Teacher Dien. I don't care. Bet 1 million divine power on me winning. I'll bet 500,000 divine power on you. All my hopes are on you. You have to win. After you win, I'll buy myself a divine artifact as a reward. Then Han Vu put on a thoughtful face. Teacher, why get so excited about buying a divine artifact for yourself? It doesn't even involve me. A moment later, Han Vu entered his divine realm. The bright sunlight shone down, making him look like a god. Calmly, he looked around and muttered, Why haven't I added any sacred items since upgrading the divine realm? The law of gluttony and poison mist orbs seem a bit different from what I imagined. Just then, the official called, excited, Great One, are you refining sacred materials today? Han Vu quickly replied, Last time you said sacred items under level 4 are easy to find, right, Master? I have plenty of level 4 and below in my divine realm. If you need any, just let me know. Hearing that, Han Vu smirked triumphantly. All right. Next, I need level 2 sacred items with strong poison, earth, dark, and fire attributes. These 4 are the best. As soon as he spoke, the system delivered a massive package. Han Vu was stunned. Wow, you're loaded. Level 2. Sacred item. Fierce Fire. Flow Sphere. With earth and fire attributes, boosts defense and resistance for the tribe and improves recovery. Level 2. Sacred item. Shadow Nail with dark attribute. When loaded into the divine realm, Heart, it allows the tribe to form contracts. Pleased with these sacred items, Han Vu said, Perfect for the abyss bugs and dark curse bugs. That's you two. Without delay, he began fusing the Fierce Fire Flow Sphere and Shadow Nail. The two energies clashed fiercely, causing a massive explosion with a powerful aura. Han Yu releases his energy, summoning the wild insects. Seeing the dark curse insects and abyss insects evolve, radiating brilliant energy, he can't hide his excitement. They've evolved again. Future battles will be even more solid.